Welcome, guys. How are we doing today? As the groups become a little bit more clear with results coming in, we saw Group I finish, and we saw now we are watching to see what happens with groups coming through. Right now, we're looking at the Spain, Uruguay, Capo Verde, and Saudi Arabia group, which does hold some impact on how the rest of this tournament will go. We'll talk about the games that were today, but also talk about what we see now as the final 32 is starting to take clearer shape. And we're going to talk about it, guys. Welcome to Shape of Football. We apologize. We tried to be here yesterday, but as you know, sometimes internet doesn't cooperate with you. But we are here, we are back, and we're ready to talk about all things football right now. We are at halftime when it comes to Spain versus Uruguay, and then Capo Verde versus the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And here are the important things to know about this group. If the results hold, you would have the group winner, Spain, as we start in second half. Spain would be the group winner, and then they would face a third place side. If these results hold as well, with a draw, Capo Verde would finish in second place, and they would then take on a second place side. And as it stands currently, as we have on the screen for you, third place in this group would be Uruguay, who would be out as they would need at least 3 points. So Uruguay need a draw. And to be quite honest, a draw and then some help along the way. Some help along the way would do some good for them. Later on this evening, we'll have Iran versus Egypt and then Belgium versus New Zealand in the games coming up. But guys, as we are here, we're going to talk about the games that were, the games that currently are, and the games that are coming in as well as we're watching those last few moments of the first half finish here on both sides. You had Spain currently leading with Alex Banya getting a goal for them in the 42nd minute and no score in the previous mentioned Capo Verde versus Saudi Arabia matchup. And what we'll do is we'll talk about the games that were and then get going for the games that will be coming up later on. As we've said, the final 32 are starting to take shape in themselves. So if you like this type of content, guys, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications to know every time we're about to go live and talk. Again, we commit to try to be here every evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Time to recap the day that was and talk about the day that is coming. With the round of 32 starting as quickly as Sunday, with the one matchup coming on Sunday, we will be live for that matchup, Canada versus South Africa. That game coming up, and we'll talk about those aspects. But then after the round of 32, whenever there's a break, we will have a conversation, a discussion, a panel, mind you, on the teams that surprised us in the group stage and the teams that disappointed us as well. And so we're going to do that for you, especially once we get going and get closer to it. But as previously stated, we're waiting for this game to get to halftime, and we have. Spain have reached halftime, it leading 1-0 over Uruguay. And then Capo Verde are at halftime as well. No score in that matchup. If that group holds again, you're going to have Capo Verde finishing with 3 points. And actually, Uruguay would finish no, yeah, because if it holds us now, you'd have Capo Verde with 3 points, finishing second in the group. Uruguay finishing with third with 2 points, and then Saudi Arabia with one. So that is what is there. But let's talk about the games that were earlier today. right? In a win or go home scenario we had in Group I, we'll talk about the interesting game where we had Senegal versus Iraq. And I had the pleasure of being in that game. A very fun atmosphere, a very good start to the match in terms of the energy that the fans brought. But ultimately, one mistake kind of turned the tide of this game. And I see Musa clearly is very happy with that result there. But an early red after Senegal going up 1-0 in the fourth minute changes, takes a lot of the energy out of the game. A direct on goal red, which then resulted in a player being sent off, and eventually the dam finally broke in the second half. 4 goals in the second half for Senegal, who were able then, with that win, to get their first win of this tournament. But more importantly, in getting to 5 goals. What that does for them is very important. It vaults them to the middle of the third place rankings. And what that does now is gives them some space. There are some matchups that they'll have to keep an eye on, most certainly. The first one being specifically what happens in the Croatia. They can't have too many teams pass them who are going to be on 3 points. The teams that'll pass them on more, certainly they'll have to keep an eye on them, but they can't have too many teams passing them in those spaces. But as we said earlier, the results were in goals from Habib Diarra in the fourth minute, and then in the second half, Ismail Sarr in the 56th, Pop Gay in the 59th and the 71st minute, and Iliam Njai in the 82nd minute coming on as a substitute. 5-0 is the final score in a game that not only did Senegal need, as we see some of these stats, it's 5 big shots, 28 shots. I saw them all. One save for the goalkeeper. Play without Edouard Mendy, which I think is a very interesting point to see how quickly he can come back and return from injury. But Egypt is a friend today, he says. Yes, and we'll get through all those scenarios here. But with all these stats coming through and showing well, what does this mean now? What this means is very simple. The results in Group I with Senegal now, and we had this on the screen, and we'll show it to you one more time. Senegal is now in the fifth spot of the best 8 third place teams, and the 5 goals is important because now they're on a +2, and so any team that finishes with 3 points, that gives them the opportunity to be ahead of them. Now, why is this important? Why does Musa bring up Egypt? Egypt plays Iran in their group, and Iran currently sits with 2 points. But if Iran draws their final game with Egypt, they cannot pass. And I'll say that again. Because of the goal difference, they cannot pass Senegal at 3 points. And that's what makes it very difficult for them to make it through. So when we look at a group like this group G with Iran, who's playing Egypt later this evening at 4 p.m., 11 p.m., and then Belgium playing New Zealand. If Belgium and New Zealand draw, Belgium cannot pass Senegal. If Iran and Egypt draw, because of the goal difference, Iran cannot pass Senegal. Now, there is a doomsday type scenario, but it actually doesn't affect too much. But this is a doomsday scenario for Senegal, and this is why Musa's cheering for Egypt. If Iran beats Egypt, and say Belgium beats New Zealand, then Egypt would then fall to third place. And because they'd be on 4 points, they would push Senegal further down the list. And then that's where it becomes and that's where it becomes very difficult for them to come back in. Because as you can see on the screen, they would then find themselves, Senegal will then find themselves pushed down to about the sixth spot with 7 and 8 to go, with the likes of Algeria and their matchup who play Austria. And then you'd have Congo who play tomorrow. They play Uzbekistan in their final game, which to me I expect could be an ugly, but probably win just due to the styles that they play. And then Croatia is the key one. Croatia are on 3 points. A win drops Ghana into the fourth place spot. But because again, the 4 points that Ghana has, that would push Senegal further in. So if you're Senegalese, the simple answer is you're rooting for all the African sides, except for maybe DR Congo, because that 4 points, DR Congo would push it. And so if DR Congo would win their matchup, and then Algeria would win their matchup, that would push 5 to 7. Yep. And that's the simplest way to put it. They'd be cheering and looking for those aspects. So that is the importance of the matchup that we had with Senegal getting the goal difference, which they were able to do. Kilmez, good to see you, sir. I'm torturing myself and watching Uruguay. Wildly disappointing and a waste of talent. Bielsa has wasted 4 years of these players' lives. Bielsa plays how he wants to play, and in this case, he's playing as a defensive space, and that allows him to try to keep some of those scores a little bit closer. But as you said, is it the most entertaining to watch? No. And what does that create? That creates just I understand the frustration of that type of a game. But again, we're in halftime in that group, but we're going to go over the games that happened earlier today. And as Musa says, not too hard. DR Congo always missing with us. Well, in this case, you need them to not miss with you and not mess with you as well. Uh, let me just much better. So that's what is at stake for Senegal. Senegal will need all the calculations, but it's really, I know you meant mess. I know you meant mess. But those are where all the scenarios sit. And now, and that is again predicated on the results that are happening right now staying the same. You need Capo Verde to finish in second, and then you also need, um, and then from there, then that keeps Uruguay below, and they can't come in. Now there is a there is a doomsday scenario, or as I call it, the chaotic scenario, and that's if Uruguay are able to bring it back and take this game, and then you add in a possibility of like either a Saudi Arabia or a Capo Verde coming away with a victory. There is a scenario where if Uruguay win and then Capo Verde top the group by beating Saudi Arabia, you could have Spain facing, due to how the matchups go, Argentina in the round of 32, which to me is appointment viewing. But at the same time, wouldn't we just like this a little bit later on? Wouldn't we just like this a little bit later on in the year? I would tend to agree with that. So that was the first game. Well, that was the game that happened first in Group I. When we get to the second game in Group I, this is where it gets very interesting. And it was just to settle the winner of the group. And in convincing fashion, yes, people say, well, they rested Holland and other excuses and other reasons. At the end of the day, you can only play with who you have on the pitch, and France gets past Norway by the score of 4-1, which means they top the group. They top Group I. And as a result, we'll go over some of those matchups in a minute here. But this game was, in case people forgot, Ousmane Dembele was the Ballon d'Or winner last year. Ousmane came out and reminded us, in the words of a certain rapper, he said, "Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ooze," or as some people say, Osman. It's not Osman, it's Ousmane Dembele. 3 goals in the first half. What a performance from that young man. And he gets his 3 goals in the first half, but then Theo Asgard gets a goal in the 22nd minute to make it 3-1. 21st minute, apologies. But then Desire Doué gets the final goal in the 90th plus 4 in injury time. 4-1 is the score. And in this game, yes, like we said, there was no Holland starting, right? There was no Sorloth starting, no Martin Odegaard playing, no Julian Ryerson. It was a very much a rotated side. Right? A lot of names that you would hope to see for Norway didn't play, whereas for France, you saw most of the typical names. Most of your typical names came out and started and played well. Mbappe with 2 assists. Olise, maybe not the loudest game, but still effective. Chouameni, Kone, Doué again. We said with the goal, they get the job done. Norway does miss a penalty in the early in the second half, which could have swung some momentum for them, but they are unable to finish that off. And so as a result, they top their group. And now we're starting to see a very clear photo, which means because of where France find themselves. And maybe you're right, Kilmes, right? Maybe you're right in this situation where you're right. Rest the big boys, save them for a deeper run. Also, France was nuts. Oh, agreed. France reminding us, hey, oh, by the way, because we've had Olise look good. We've seen Mbappe look good. Today was a Dembele show. Guzman reminded us that he has a Ballon d'Or for a reason with his finishing. They were all 3 good finishes from him. But now we're starting to see the round of 32 take shape. On the top end of the bracket, we see a collision course, depending on what happens with the third place teams, of Germany and France possibly happening on the July 4th slate of games as a way for third place teams to come through. We've already talked about South Africa versus Canada on the 28th, and then the Netherlands versus Morocco on the 29th. We have locked in United States versus Bosnia and Herzegovina, Japan, Brazil, and then on the other side of that slot, you have Cote d'Ivoire and Norway. That is a very tantalizing setup. And then as the rest of the round of 32 starts to take shape, you have Mexico waiting for third place side. It's the runner-up sides I'm looking forward to. Group G, for instance, has is way Australia is going to be playing the runner-up of Group G. And what makes Group G a fun group is the reality that Group G is the runner-up could be 4 teams, arguably. It could be Egypt. It could be Iran. It could be New Zealand. An old oceanic derby between New Zealand and Belgium could certainly be a very intriguing matchup for games. But as we said, the more these games start to solidify and start to finalize, the more our final picture starts to look clearer. And that is what we have. Those were the games that happened so far today. And a very good game that they were. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to get you the live play by play of the we're gonna get you the live play-by-play of this Saudi Arabia Capo Verde matchup, and then I will be watching also to see what the is going on in the Spain Uruguay matchup, because again, if it continues to go, if it stays how it does, we could see a very interesting scenario where we know who plays who, and it becomes a very fun matchup there. So on the screen for you, we do have Capo Verde versus Saudi Arabia, and then we're going to keep an eye on as well the Spain Uruguay matchup. And guys, in the comments, let me know what you thought. Which matchups in the round of 32 look interesting, look intriguing to you, or appointment television? That Japan versus Brazil matchup certainly looks like it for me. Guys, let me know what you think here, because I think it's a fascinating setup of games as we're watching Capo Verde and Saudi Arabia get at it, and we'll keep you guys updated what's going on with the Uruguay Spain matchup. Perfect. And we're back here, and I have to get the television set up here. But as we had said, still 1-0 as Uruguay just are unable to get a shot off and a good counter spot. But Kinnemis gives a good point here. I think Netherlands versus Morocco will be interesting. Not a fan of Morocco, but there will be a lot of fights. I think that's a very fascinating matchup, and I'm not saying for certain that the Dutch are going to beat Morocco. I think if you're going for a very interesting run, Morocco would be a very interesting pick over the Netherlands. But I think right now how the Netherlands are playing, they're playing very well. I think, like you said, there will be a lot of fight in this game. I think a win is there for the taking for both sides. But I think the nine play, I think Brian Brobe just being able to score consistently for them, I think that opens up a new facet for them. That makes the Dutch more dangerous consistently. Doesn't make them World Cup threats. I don't know yet, but it certainly makes them far more dangerous. I think that's what I'm intrigued by. Yeah, a lot of fight in that game for certain. A lot of fight in that game for certain. But still, 0-0 in this Capo Verde versus Saudi Arabia matchup, and it's 1-0 for Spain leading Uruguay. If this stands, Uruguay will be eliminated, and Capo Verde would move on in the second place spot. Having a similar run but with better results than New Zealand had in 2010, or was it 14? New Zealand, who drew all three games, never lost, but didn't make it out of the group. In this situation, they may all Cape Verde would have done what New Zealand did before, just drawn three games, but then this time they got out of the group. So that'll be certainly something to keep an eye on. Tracker up here, showing us how it is. But yeah, that's an interesting matchup. That whole bracket, just because Canada's there as well, makes it interesting. Because, right, you don't want to play the game of you hope this team wins, so then you'll have an easier matchup. You have to win your matchup. And this Canada versus South Africa matchup is very intriguing in terms of I've been able to stay out of it, thankfully, because I've been away from my computer for most days. So after you go actually touch grass and see some football for real. But let me tell you, I have enjoyed watching the full confident banter of, yeah, we can beat this side versus, oh, we're definitely beating this side. You're not as good as you think you are. And I think for me the conversation point is always, I think if you're South Africa, the alternative was not playing a game of another game in the round 32. So yeah, you'll take Canada. And for Canada, the alternative was playing South Korea. So yeah, they'll take South Africa. I think they'll match up very well to one another, but I think there's some familiarity, but then there's also some weariness. And I've seen some very hot takes on both sides. I won't get into it here because I'm just like, uh, some people are. That's just the full on disrespect. I just find hilarious. But this is where we stand. This is where we stand. So again, as we're waiting to see what these evening results give, here's another quick showing as we have two pockets of this round of 32 solidified. Not two sides, but we have two pockets where we know what the four teams that will go down to two, that'll eventually go down to one, right? The first one being the South Africa, Canada, and then Netherlands, Morocco. And that's being played in Mexico, so that'll be very interesting to see how that one plays its way out, especially temperature wise, as it's in Guadalajara. The second known little pocket is you got the Brazil versus Japan, and then Cote d'Ivoire versus Norway pocket, which will get very interesting. I mean, what would you rather see? But in this packet, like Brazil, Norway, Brazil, Cote d'Ivoire, Japan, Norway, Japan, Cote d'Ivoire. I think that's very interesting in terms of the pockets of space. Group H, reminder again, the runner-up of Group H, which is the group with Uruguay, Spain, Capo Verde, and Saudi Arabia, will play. Wait, they get that right? Now I'm doubting myself. Now I'm doubting myself. Uh, I always do that thing where I stop the share versus actually sharing it. But Group H, the reminder, Group H is, yeah, the Capo Verde, Uruguay, Spain, that side. The whoever loses and finishes in second place. And that, as it stands right now, it'd be Capo Verde, which, I mean, imagine the run they would have. They draw all three games. They don't lose. They draw a tournament favorite, and now they take on another tournament favorite in a round of 32. They would be playing with house money at that point. The houseiest of monies to be found. And so, what a run that would be if these results hold. What a run it would be if those results hold. But again, as we said, we'll have to wait and see how it goes in. But that is definitely a very interesting proposition. But back, Capo Verde still up, are drawn to Saudi Arabia, as we had a corner coming in on the Spain versus Uruguay game, but that was dealt with by Uruguay. But then you had Spain turning the ball, turning them over, getting back in possession, and moving the ball into attacking spaces. Correa with the ball, moving it to the middle. Now they're getting that wide. Uruguay looking, and Uruguay are very much moving and getting those fouls in. Uruguay are being the more physical side, as Marino takes a hard foul, but it's just a talking to. And meanwhile, in the Capo Verde versus Saudi Arabia matchup, Capo Verde has a deep throw in. See if they're going to try to get it into the box, try to create something in those opportunities. Still 0-0, Capo Verde versus Saudi Arabia, and Spain, Uruguay still 1-0 as it stands. Still 1-0 as it stands. As Spain are taking off Pedri, as well as, I didn't get that second name. Oh, for sure. I agree with you there, Kumas. I think they are definitely trying to make the game chaotic, but they can't use it in their favor because they're just slowing down the rhythm, the pattern of the games. But I think it's definitely possible for them to get something out of this game. But again, they need a win. A draw won't do. Only a win can do it for them. Only a win. Because a draw would just move them up, but then not far high enough. Because a draw will get them back to level at 3, and so that would place them right below Senegal. They can't pass Senegal again, just due to the draws and the goal scored. But then later on, you can have either Belgium, Egypt, Iran, New Zealand, one of those four teams could finish with 3 to 4 points, and what that would result in is them getting pushed down further down the table. And so that would be very intriguing in terms of what come of this. But for that, they'd have to wait and see what could be created. But again, still no score in that matchup as we wait and keep going as Saudi Arabia are pushed back. And again, in that group, Saudi Arabia have 1 point with one draw with Uruguay, but then Capo Verde have a draw with Spain and Uruguay. So a win over the likes of Saudi Arabia would vault them to 5, and more than likely, second place in the group is Spain, dribbling through, trying to find an opportunity. Do they give a foul? Nothing as it's cleared. Nothing as it's cleared. No foul given. Spanish folks are wondering what's going on in that situation. Oof. Penalty shouts, but nothing given. Penalty shouts, but nothing given. As Spain tries to build the ball back up, but nothing to show for it still. And here you have Spain into the box, play in the middle, shot chipped, tries to chip, but can't put it on frame. What are we doing? Spain had the opportunity to go up 2-0, and Danny Olmo, I don't know what he was trying to do, but he almost did it, but he almost failed. Yeah, almost tries to put it in, and he just slices it wide. Olmo, what are we doing? The more this game opens up, the more it certainly favors Uruguay. Sorry, it favors Spain. It wouldn't favor Uruguay, but within those moments, we wait. We certainly wait. So, still 1-0 in that matchup, and then in the matchup number 2, still, but now Capo Verde on the ball in possession, trying to find a breakthrough. The Saudi defense is staying very stingy. Not many options. They try to go long, and they let it go out for a throw or goal kick. Try to let it go out for a goal kick. Again, a draw doesn't help the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They need a win as the Saudis now bring in a couple substitutions in to, and you see the ref really emphasizing. It was interesting seeing the rules that were just brought in for games. A player has to leave the pitch if they're subbed in 10 seconds. If not, the sub will be taken off, or the player leaving will have to leave, but then the next player won't be able to come in for a minimum of a minute or until the next fine stoppage of play, plus other things. So it's very interesting, fascinating to see how FIFA's trying to speed up its play and see what they're able to do with that. Kinman says again, Spain have not really played like the contenders at all. The best 45 minutes they played was the first half on Saudi Arabia. Yes, it's true. If we're gonna judge teams by how they looked in their group stage, I don't think you consider Spain as a contender. I think you look at their players. I think you look at, like you said, you look at their body of work and other aspects. But oh, we have a turnover coming up. Saudi Arabia putting the ball into space. They're gonna try to get a cross and puts it over, and dealt with by the keeper. Dealt with by as you have Capo Verde trying to play the ball out, but now they're getting caught in an up and down game, which is not to their strength. and you have Saudi Arabia trying to push further more into it. It's a very it's almost a question I want to ask you, Kim, as but then anyone else who's watching. I say a Capo Verde moving the ball forward, and that looks like it could be a yellow card as well. Yep, a yellow card to break up the flow of the game. Still nil-nil in this game in the 67th minute. When it gets to the Spain versus Uruguay matchup, still 1-0 as you have Uruguay trying to build up in the back. They're also in the 67th minute. I guess the question I would ask would be, have we had five, or not even five, have we had three teams that have looked like World Cup caliber or World Cup favorite teams so far? Because I think only France would qualify. I'm not sure who else we would put in. As Uruguay try to put a cross in, but waste it, send it away. Goal kick coming up for Spain. Yeah, giving this to you and anyone else who's watching. Which teams so far have shown to be World Cup caliber sides? As we hit a hydration break in the Spain versus Uruguay matchup. Right. Because it's a very intriguing question. As you got Capo Verde moving the ball out wide, Capo Verde puts in a low cross, it's deflected, shot, the rebound gets back in, they work at it again. You got a player going for byline, crosses it, but then wastes the cross, goes out. And what looks like a hydration break indeed. So hydration break for both sides coming in. This is a very good question that it sparks. Which sides have been? Which sides have shown to be World Cup winning quality? Who's looked that good so far? If I go group by group, it's interesting. Mexico, Mexico have just gotten results. If it was a top five, based off how they looked in the group, I think I'd have them in. But for a top three, you're trying to be very specific. But do we even have three? Is the question. Group B, the Swiss, they get past Canada. You can argue that they were either the better side or Canada just couldn't get out of its way defending. Either way, that's the best shot from that group. Group C, Brazil and Morocco have looked interesting. Brazil only have one goal conceded, and that was to Morocco. Morocco have conceded 3 goals. They got a result versus Scotland, but Scotland definitely tried to get their draw, but not there. So I don't. It's hard when you just have a team that looks like France, and that might just be it. You get to Group D, USA, Australia, Paraguay, and Turkey. Have the US looked that good? It's hard to say that because, again, you have the third game where it's heavily rotated and you lose to a disappointing Turkey side, but maybe. Group E, Germany and their loss to Ecuador, goalkeeping, and will certainly hold them back for sure. Cote d'Ivoire, no, and then Ecuador and Curacao definitely no. Netherlands, Japan, Sweden. Have the Dutch looked? The Dutch have looked good. Their draw versus Japan was just the matchups of the game, and a good half of just scoring in transition and movements. But maybe I might add the Netherlands to that level. Group G, I think you have Egypt with the only win in that group. Everyone else are draws and then one loss. So it's hard to put anyone in Group G there. Group H, to your point, I don't think Spain have looked too dominant. Now, I think their patterns of play, but they haven't looked convincing. Group I, France, that's not a question. Norway, we could argue were, but then that rotated last game. does leave much to be desired. Argentina, are we forgetting about them? Could be. So we'll go France, Argentina for sure. Group K. I think Colombia versus Portugal will say a lot about these two sides. A win from either will really show, I think will really do a good job to push one of those teams further up. Hmm. We could go through that. I see the commentary comments. Let me get to it in a second here. And then group K, I think comes down to if Colombia gets past Portugal either way, I think you put them into that conversation. And then Group L, England. I mean, Ghana won anti-football, but they got the draw, so no one's gonna be mad about that if you're Ghanaian. Croatia had a bad matchup versus England, but then got their 1-0 win over Panama. And then Ghana, I mean, even if Ghana were to beat Croatia and then Panama were somehow able to beat England and Ghana would top the group, I would not put anyone in Group L there. Okay, let me see what you got here going on. Yes, we're all speaking the same language here. True. All right. True. So I'm biased, so I would say Argentina, but it's all been messy. Interested to see how they play without him tomorrow. Yes. If they're able to show well, I think you look at Argentina in a different light, most certainly. As you have a corner dealt with by Capo Verde and a deep throwing coming for Saudi Arabia here. Other than France, interesting but not convincing. Interesting, yes, yes, yes. I would say US just got the job done. I'd say they just got the job done as well, for sure. And to this point, I agree here. I think Colombia have looked good, but yeah, it hinges on how they show up against Portugal. I think if they come out and look good against the Portugal side, that people are trying to moment a very interesting moment when it came to Capo Verde. But now coming the other way, could we have a break for Capo Verde? Gets the ball to the middle, looks, plays the ball wide. Oh my goodness, what a save! What a save! What a save by the Saudi keeper. I don't know. What a save. 1v1 with the keeper, and he makes a save. The entire sequence, a long ball. He takes the player, gets it, holds up, passes it to Duarte. Duarte is in alone with the keeper, and what a save to keep it 1, to keep it 0-0. My goodness, this group is going hard. Now I have a corner coming up. We have a corner coming up here in this game. Oh, here we go. Pico tries to put it on target but goes wide. But my goodness, that sequence. Mistouched. We have a miss chance where Saudi can't get to it, but then a long ball, beautifully controlled, cuts inside, waits for the run, confusion in defense, gets the ball in. What a save, Saudi Arabia. If Saudi comes back and wins this game, we're going to look at that save and say that was the moment. That was the moment. Goodness me, end-to-end action in this game. And then Uruguay and Spain still 1-0 as Spain are passing their way and passing the time in their build-up. Uruguay reaching, trying to create fouls. A good turn and the foul called. As Danny Olmo takes the tumble. Almost should have had this team up 1-0, but a poor finish. Truthfully, the poorest finish. And it's still 1-0. 2-0 would have given them breathing room, but a poor finish. And this is where the game stays. Lamine Yamal coming off the pitch after going 75. Nico Williams coming in for Lamine Yamal. And Obvazal comes off. and Torres coming in. So Williams and Torres for Lamal and friends. Oh, these games, this set of games is certainly looking. It is certainly looking like a fun set. You can feel the tension, no doubt. The tension is there. As a foul is called, but the Uruguayans are wondering it was all body. Why why is it being called? Oh, this is starting to turn into a good. The last 15 of both of these games is going to be very intriguing. Very intriguing indeed. I'm seeing all the things come through. Oh, what a day. But now a foul on Uruguay, and now they have a free kick in the Spanish side, in the Spanish half. Let's see what they're able to do with it. Still nil-nil in both games. Sorry, it's nil-nil in the Capo Verde Saudi Arabia game. But then Uruguay and Spain 1-0 for Spain. As Spain having long options, but they elect to go back after getting the turnover in the middle. Almost passing, Spain now probing, moving the ball to the middle. They get the ball up to the side, to the wing. Nico Williams, no foul given. Uruguay coming back. Uruguay pushing, get the ball to the middle, out wide, looking for the cross, but the offsides is given. Free kick coming to Spain. It's getting late early in these matchups. It's getting late early in these matchups. As Bielsa yelling, but feels like it's helpless at this point. They need such a quick turnaround for an opportunity. But so far, that opportunity has yet to get to them. Oh, a chance possibly, but taken up by the goalkeeper. And now they are building up one more time. Spain being they. And Capo Verde and Saudi Arabia. This all in this matchup for the opportunity to play Argentina in the round of 32. Hey, they get to say we're bringing our brand of football to you, and there's nothing you can do. What a save again by the Saudi keeper on that 1v1 on that transition build up. Just the moments have been there for them. The foul coming in here. And let's check back in with the Spain versus Uruguay as Spain puts the header up, but Uruguay gain in the end. They're pushing. They realize they need not just a goal, but they need 2 goals to guarantee that they make the round of 32, but one for a chance. As we wait, there we go. Moves the ball out wide. Looking to see what they're able to get. Nothing there yet, but gets that wide, sends it up, tries to get to back post, but too much air under it. Goal kick coming up for the team. Goal kick coming for Spain. Still 1-0 in that matchup. And then Capo Verde versus Saudi Arabia still sitting at 0-0. Now, again, if this result holds, then we'll have Capo Verde taking on Argentina in the round of 32. And more importantly, then we would have Spain sitting. Ugh, trying to find this. Always confusing. But throw coming in for Saudi Arabia in that matchup. We're keeping you posted on everything happening here. But here comes Uruguay trying to break, but physicality from Spain making it difficult for them to get to the byline. They get through. Ooh, Spain doing their best to defend, pushing, and now you're getting just players are dropping, and Oliveira doing his best to give Uruguay a chance at anything. And though this is going wide, or it may have hit the side netting, now you have the corner coming in, but dealt with by the Spanish defense. But not out. You have Uruguay recycling, second ball in. They get it in just over the head, too far deep. Throwing coming for Spain. We're in the 83rd minute. Still nothing. You live for these moments. Again at stake. Uruguay need a draw for a chance to make the round of 32, but they need a win to guarantee they make the round of 32. As Spain tries to go long, but it's easily dealt with, and they go right back in. And now Uruguay building, they go long on the sideline. A good switch of play, but dealt with by Spain. Passed out into the middle. Dani Olmo with the ball. He goes out wide. Spain getting to their corners, their quadrants, keeping some spacing, trying to find some spacing. Hold up, hold up. Will they get the foul called? The foul is called. And Spain will take their time to get to this free kick as they get the ball to Dani Olmo. Olmo goes out wide. Wide looks like the Pedri. But Spain are fine playing keep away passing with the entirety of the pitch. That is what they would like to do. That's certainly what they would like to do as they go far wide, pushing the ball out. Again, we have Capo Verde now getting the ball into a dangerous spot for them. Can they do something with this? Yes, guys, we're switching from game to game. This is what we are doing here. As Spain, even with a win, Spain with a draw would still top the group. It gets interesting if Uruguay move off of that. So right now, Spain in the 85th minute, holding on, Uruguayan fans hoping for a miracle. Spanish fans celebrate topping the group if no goals or one goal is scored for either side. No foul given but chipped over and then sent out on offsides is given in that matchup. Darwin tries to get to the end of it, but is just simply unable to. 85th minute with some change. Let's see what else this hinges on as Capo Verde now building the ball, looking, cuts inside, gets it back out wide, moving to the left, moving to the right, puts a good layover, through ball, pass back. You have, man, 1v1 to keep a shot blocked, tries to put it through, rebound. Saudi Arabia are doing everything but score the goal. They're defending so well and keeping things going as we throw in Nelson into the building. Nelson, how are you doing, good sir?
Yo, how's Toronto? Can you? Hello?
Nelson, are you hearing me, good sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. It says I'm speaking, so
Hey,
it must be your
it's
audio.
good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I can hear
I,
you.
I think there's a delay. Your hotel Wi-Fi over here is struggling.
Is my mic? Is it my mic or is it you?
No, I can hear you. I
Oh,
can
there's a
come.
delay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
back out. I
It
come
does
back
happen
in.
to us. But no, Toronto was good. The Senegal Iraq game. All right. Yes, they do, Kim, as do. They do indeed. We'll see if we can reconnect with Nelson here. It may be me. It may be him. It's probably me. But we'll see what's going on with there. But still 1-0 Spain versus Uruguay. And then 0-0 Saudi Arabia versus Capo Verde. Nelson, are you hearing me here?
Yeah. How about you?
Perfect. Okay, so the delay is just that bad. Good to know. All right. But how are you feeling with these games going on? And especially with now a clearer or the round of 32 becoming a little bit clearer. Are there matchups that you're seeing that you're intrigued by that you want to see here?
Well, I thought Cabo Verde would do something better against Saudi Arabia. To be honest, they've. It seems to be a lot of hero ball instead of like clear cut chances being made. So that's the only one that I would like. Senegal absolutely playing well against Iraq was expected. It showcases the first two games being really difficult. Has didn't dampen the moods, but I'm pretty sure they might go through. It depends on the other groups, but I'm assuming 4 points is what will probably be the bottleneck, and probably Senegal just don't make it.
Hmm.
Dude, that delay is crazy.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think there's a fair conversation with Senegal where was it too little, too late for them in this scenario? Just because, yes, they got the goal difference, but we look back at the opportunities missed, and not to say that they really had great opportunities against Norway, but that Norway game was, even if they got a draw out of it, 4 points pushes them further up and they are safe. But now they're in a situation where I think they have to rely on pretty much every African team to get to get a positive result for them, and then that gets them in. So it's definitely a situation of too little, possibly too late, but we'll have to wait and see in terms of them. And for Capo Verde, if they're able to top or finish second in this group, yes, they play Argentina in the next round, but is that would be a success for them, would it not?
I think for a lot of the smaller countries, just the concept of getting out of groups is a big deal. Like people don't understand the because we have this the groups are a lot more. We expect more teams going into the knockout stages. Getting out of groups was a big deal. Like it seems because FIFA has allowed more countries to get out of groups, people think it's just like expected. This used to be a hard thing. There's a reason why multiple countries, this World Cup is the first time that they've gotten out of groups. South Africa, first time getting out of groups. Like this didn't happen. It used to be the same teams over and over and over again. So I think any team that gets out of groups gets to play a decent side, whether it's Argentina, whatever country you're going to face, still a good thing. So I'm expecting any of these countries that leave. I'm happy for them, especially first time or second time uh, countries, like countries that have only showed up to the World Cup once or twice. It'd be pretty cool. I can't hear you now. Yo, is it me? Just mute the other one. Yeah, you have the audio, bro.
I muted myself there, so apologies. No, I was saying we're getting to those final moments of this game. Uruguay need a draw just for a chance for something. Did they get the draw? No, they did not. Still nil. Still 1-0 as Spain puts the ball to Nico Williams. They pick up the foul. Ooh, Nico just getting almost drawn into things here. But we're definitely seeing teams playing for their desperation and their World Cup lives. But Nico took exception to that foul here, and now we're getting a meeting of heads as yeah, he takes the foul, no play on the ball, and Nico was not having it. Nico was not having it. But hey, good to see the ref doing well. But outside of that, do you like? I want to ask you about Norway, Nelson. Did you like their decision to not play many of their big names against France
I I think that
instead
was sketchy.
prioritizing the round of 32 matchup, or would you have liked to see them play their their big players to see where they stack up against a team like France and try to win the group?
I think that was sketchy in general. I think the the way Norway did it makes no sense because essentially what Norway is planning on is Ivory Coast is an easier team to play than I guess what Germany or something. Um, but like I just don't understand why they did that. It's one of those funny. We've seen this before. Like what was it like in the 90s and stuff? Teams used to do this all the time. Like they would assess who the next team they're facing is, and then from there decide whether they're going to finish first or second. Um, I thought that was very odd. Like, why not go for first? Why bench all of your top players? Made no sense to me.
It's definitely a tough. Like I can understand the logic of it, but again, now they're in a like we showed the bracket before. Now they're in the bracket um with Ivory Coast, and if they beat that, they play the winner of Brazil and Japan. And so, is that an easier matchup than say going into the same bracket with Germany on the other side and facing a third place side? Possibly, yes, but
Oh my god, how'd they miss that? Yo, honestly, Cabo Verde basically threw away this game.
yes.
They did. They threw away this game. They had multiple opportunities to win this. Um, they've been playing hero ball the whole time.
Hmm.
So again, this is one of those groups that I'm like, they did well against Spain, they did well against Uruguay, but against Saudi Arabia, where there were multiple opportunities, they just kept making the wrong move.
They
But
did now.
hey,
Now, okay, they may finish in third, but granted, like I think the Saudi keeper makes a couple good saves on some chances, but I do agree, this game they should have finished this with 5 points, not three. But
and
as
you're
it stands,
guaranteed second. Like,
yeah,
think about that. You're guaranteed second. that means you face uh technically a weaker team than what you're possibly going to face. Heck, 3 points, as we said, with the like Senegal, it's not a guarantee. You might
True,
not be guaranteed to go through to the next round. So
but
because
with three draws, they do finish in second
of the
place.
head.
They're in
Oh, with
second
three
place in that
draws,
group.
the second place now.
Yes,
Oh,
because
because
Uruguay,
Spain won all three. Oh no,
no,
two,
Spain
two,
Spain won
two,
two. They
and
beat
drew one.
yeah, they
Yeah,
would
yeah,
be
yeah.
beating Uruguay and they beat Saudi Arabia. And
Mm,
so if the results hold, then Capo Verde plays Argentina in their round of 32 matchup. And hey, good on you guys. Good on you guys, because yeah, that game just went final. So Spain Uruguay just went final, and
mm.
so now we know for sure it's Argentina versus Capo Verde, and Spain will face the runner-up of Group J, which,
So the runner-up is Algeria at the moment.
as it stands, it's Algeria. No,
Mhm.
as it stands, it's Argentina. I mean, so it's Austria. It's Austria as it stands.
From what I'm
Group
looking at,
J.
Sofa scored Group J's. Oh, runner-up. So
Yeah, the
second.
runner-up. Yeah,
So
Capo Verde
second.
plays
Yeah,
Argentina. Yes. Yeah.
yeah. But so Argentina, Austria, Algeria. The
Yes.
last game is Algeria plays Austria, no? Or
Algeria.
the
Yeah, they play
Jordan.
Austria. They play Austria because
Okay.
Argentina played
Yeah.
Jordan. So
Yeah,
Messi's gonna
that's
get
a win.
yeah, cap up his Ballon d'Or run. I'm sorry, not Ballon d'Or. His Golden Boot campaign
Yeah,
looks good in
Ballon
some
d'Ors.
Jordans.
The way Dembele reminded everyone that he's just as good as. But again, like to me, it's all sketchy. That Norway game makes no sense. Like if you were to speak to the coach and go, "What was your reasoning?
Hmm.
Like why are you benching players? You're going to get enough time between now and the next game, so
Yeah.
it's not a question of, oh, you're trying to make sure everyone's like fit and not stressed out. But come on, that's clearly a tactical. They want to face the second best team as opposed to the third best team for some reason.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever. I
Yeah.
want them to get knocked out too because they played well against France. To be fair,
Yeah.
um,
It just Dembele decided to, like you said, decided to remind everyone that hey, I won a Ballon d'Or for a reason. And
dude
hey,
scored with his right foot for the first goal and the other two with his left foot. Like that's
mhm,
just nuts. But like it's so unfair to face someone like Dembele. To be honest,
mhm.
most countries would cry for someone like him, and they
Oh,
have multiple. Crazy.
yes. You look at that and you're like, oh, by the way, Olise, maybe one of his poorer games of the tournament, but hey, you
Due
know what?
comes on, scores a great header. Like just crazy, just a good game, man. Like
Just
just a good team.
yeah,
But again, it's also hard to assess because Norway didn't play the first team, and they had many chances. Like
yes,
many, they had a
yes,
plethora of chances. Maignan actually got lucky. I've been
ye-
saying this. Like we still haven't seen a team that tests them. Like Spain, like France. France hasn't been tested yet.
mhm,
Senegal rolled over in the
yep,
second half. Um, who was the next game? France played
Iraq,
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 which
yeah,
was obviously they're going to win, and
mhm,
then Norway, which was going to be the first true test. They benched their best players, so
yeah,
they still haven't been tested really.
mhm.
Like if Senegal finish their chances, that's a completely different game.
It would be like we said, it would have been interesting to see them play even with a little bit of adversity, where it's like,
Yeah,
okay, cool, but
everything's worked out for them. So like this is it's rather interesting because they've been the one country that's been lucky that things have gone their way. But like look at the goal Norway scores, bro. And remember, they had a penalty, Sweden.
yes,
And we need to discuss it. There needs to be someone has to say these idiots who keep doing the starter step strike for penalties, they've all been saved. All of them. Remember, Harry Kane did it.
Yep,
Luckily, it
that was
was
fair.
replayed. The
Yep,
penalty was told to like stutter step is such a stupid thing. Like
it's
some people can make it work, but not all of them.
that I'll agree with. I think some people can make it work, but not everyone can. And so, and this is why I think I always like appreciated Harry Kane on penalties. So just like pick a spot, maybe a little run up, blast into that spot, move on. And whether he misses or hits, it's like whatever. It's done. It's done, and you could appreciate that at least. But no, yeah, if they had scored that penalty, it at least makes it a closer game,
Well,
and
it would have been
maybe
3-2. It
yeah,
would have meant that they were like still in touching distance.
yes. And
You
at
know,
that point, then what does Norway's coach do? Does he decide, hey, maybe I want to bring in,
like I'm close.
exactly, maybe I do
We
want to
can
bring in.
still draw. We can still draw and save face.
Hmm.
Like have the question of what if we started our first team? It actually still showcases how much depth they have, because technically they played the second team, and their second team really matched well against France.
Hmm.
Like really did. And outside of like the two goals for Dembele, like the curlers, come on,
What are you
doesn't matter
supposed to do
which
with that?
keeper. Like what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Those that's insane.
Hmm. It most certainly is. So, that being said, third place team looks like this. Uruguay are officially eliminated because they needed a
Yeah, they
draw
needed.
for a chance,
Yep.
but they really needed a win. And we avoid the doomsday scenario where, or, or the hilarious scenario where if Cape Verde had won the group and then Uruguay had beat Spain, you would have had
Mhm.
Spain versus Argentina in the first round.
So I think it's clear to say that probably the first four are through. I think
Yes.
Sweden, Ecuador, Bosnia, Paraguay are through. The discussion now becomes I actually think Senegal, Croatia, so Senegal and South Korea, because Croatia have one more game, but
Yes.
Senegal and South Korea, you could argue, might actually fail to go through. Well,
Yes.
no, South Korea might go because it has -2 goal difference.
Okay, so the key first thing is the Belgian New Zealand game. And the reason why that matters is if you're Senegal or Croatia or even South Korea at that point, you need a team. You can't have Egypt fall. You need Egypt to win the group
Hmm.
because any team that drops to four,
Hmm.
because if Iran win and then say Belgium win, then that
Hmm.
pushes Egypt to the third place spot, and Egypt's already on four.
Hmm.
And so that pushes then Senegal, Croatia, and South Korea down. And in that case, then it would eliminate South Korea.
Hmm.
And so the teams here are rooting for, like, the simplest way to put it is if you're African in the bottom four of the top eight, you're rooting for all the African sides, right? You need Egypt to beat Iran and to keep them on two so that, and then you need a result
Wait,
in
this is for
the,
who? Who are you referencing for? For
I'm
Belgium
saying,
or for
I'm saying
Senegal?
for Senegal, and at this point,
Well, okay. At
yeah.
this point, let's discuss.
Hmm.
Algeria technically have enough power to beat Austria, but that's going to be really tough. So you
Yes,
assume maybe they could draw. So if the best case scenario for Algeria is draw, because as we said, 4 points
pushes
definitely
another team.
guarantees you. No,
Yes,
4 points guarantees you.
yes.
So if they go 4 points, because they also have -2, right? Scotland have -3. So even if Scotland
Scotland are done.
draw,
They can't get
yeah, they're done.
Scotland are
Actually,
done. Yeah,
they played three. So
yeah,
if Algeria draws, they basically jump up the list.
yeah.
Um, but who's Belgium's last game?
They're playing New Zealand tonight.
Oh, Belgium could definitely win that, like easily, actually.
Hmm.
So Belgium jumps up.
Yes, but then Belgium jumping up doesn't affect much if Egypt beats. Iran, because if Egypt beats Iran, Belgium just jumps to second place, and
Okay.
Iran falls to third, and they're at two.
And they're off. So
Yes,
technically, was either way. It's if Belgium win, it's either going top or second.
yes,
Okay, so then the only team that's dangerous here is either Congo or Algeria. Those are the only two teams. Because if Congo wins, Congo goes 4 points. This becomes basically a South Africa situation. Does
yeah.
did they wait for the last game
hmm
to go through?
it does, yes. But again, and I bring up Croatia because if Croatia beats Ghana, Ghana,
But it doesn't change anything.
it does
Why?
because Ghana is on four. And so Ghana
Okay.
on four would go to the third place spots, but because they're on 4 points, even if they're
Yeah,
the
but it
worst,
does. They just
it
swap. They just swap places though.
no, because they push Senegal down a spot.
Yeah, it's still top eight.
I know, but that means every new team into the top eight pushes Senegal further down the thing. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying
it doesn't matter though because Senegal being on top of Croatia doesn't matter. You still have to be in the top eight,
yes.
right? So
Mhm,
if Croatia gets out and Ghana
mhm,
comes in, still doesn't change. You're basically saying now Ghana's sixth instead of fifth. Still doesn't change anything.
n-
The only one that's dangerous of this list is Algeria or Congo. Because if either of them win, then it becomes if Algeria draws,
mhm,
Algeria jumps up.
yep. And so then
If
Senegal drops in six.
and
Yep.
Senegal drops to six, and then
Mm,
if Congo win, Congo goes up,
mhm,
and now Senegal is now seventh. Basically, South Korea is on the verge of being knocked out,
mhm.
and then if in the scenario you brought up, Ghana comes along, then Senegal are eighth.
True.
So Senegal still stay. Is it
That
not top eight, or is this says
it,
top seven?
it's
I thought it
top
was top
eight.
eight.
It's
Yeah, it's
top
top eight.
eight. So
So
yeah,
at worst, Senegal still finish eighth.
yeah. So
At worst, they
they
should go
should have
through.
done enough. They should go through. Yeah.
Yeah, like they shouldn't go through in that way, but
hmm
they still go through technically. Like the top four are the only
Safe ones. Yeah.
safe ones. The other ones are like South Korea. To be honest, South Korea was shocking. Like they played so well against
hmm
Mexico that we thought, oh yeah, this is and then we just what? Like the Mexico South Africa game affected how much we both said South Africa played good football, but Mexico beat them so badly that we went and Mexico didn't even play well to begin with. That it skewed our whole view of South Africa.
Hmm.
So much so that when they beat South Korea, it was like, oh, it's a shock. But then you go, wait, if we discussed this prior to the World Cup, we would have said it was like still South Korea is a better country because they have a lot more players who play in Europe and a lot of them are like elite players.
hmm
But it was of course it wasn't like a wash. It was more.
No. Yeah.
It depends what version of South Africa shows up.
It, true, right?
Yeah.
Because the best versions of South Africa we've seen, they can play with the best teams in Africa, and like it's been funny taking this in with the discourse between Canadian and South African fans online, where they're both talking about it themselves as if we're just chop soup and like there's nothing, and I'm just like, I'm gonna stay out of this because I respect both sides.
What do you mean?
Um, oh, you've avoided this. Good for you.
Well, I
Uh,
don't live on the internet. I just show up on this show. What's
well,
going on?
well done. Oh, so there's basically the thought that South Africa are going to beat Canada because Canada isn't good at football. And then the Canadian perspective of that is Canadians are going to beat South Africa. Canada's going to beat South Africa because South Africa isn't South Korea, and they should be able to beat South Africa, especially based off of the quality of opponents that they've played leading up to, and then also just how Canada is playing.
Mm.
And I at some point I'm gonna do a preview. I think I'm doing a preview with Lynn at some point, and like I don't think it's as easy one way or the other.
No, I think these are both two average teams. And by the way, I wanted us to face South Africa more than I wanted us to face South Korea
Oh,
because
mhm,
of the midfield. South Korea's midfield is really good.
mm,
The thing that we get lucky on is their attack. I don't know why the South Korean coach doesn't like the idea of playing Hwang Hee-chan and Heung-min Son as
together.
the attack. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. Like for some reason, he views maybe Hwang Hee-chan doesn't track back as much.
Mhm,
Um, and even in scenarios, you
mhm,
know, they should technically play Kang In Lee on the wing because he's
mhm,
played on the wing. But maybe I can understand why he doesn't play him sometimes on the wing because Kang In Lee still likes drifting into midfield and like um, creating those overloads in midfield.
mhm,
But South Korea just, I think we match up poorly, especially without Kone against them.
mhm,
South Africa, though, the reason I like facing South Africa is they will open up. So we will get chances. It's a question of who is more clinical that day. Because the
mhm.
problem with South Africa is if South Africa are clinical, we are going to get beat badly. Because they create a boatload of chances. They just can't finish.
This, this, but and that's my like. I tried recording a preview before I left for Toronto, and then I just didn't come out as I wanted to. And I started
Mm,
asking other African content creators to be like, okay, to you, who does Canada remind you of in Africa? If I was creating like a profile for people who've not seen the other side play. And then I
mm.
was waiting for some of those responses to come in and they gave those to me. But like if you look at South Africa, when they're on their game, the prime game I go to is 2024 AFCON when they play Nigeria in the
Yeah,
semifinals.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Nigeria is the best game to actually
And
reference.
and
Yeah,
objectively, they should have won that game.
they were
They
the better
created
team.
they were the better team.
Yeah.
They could not hit a barn in
Mhm.
the middle of a farm.
And here's the thing about South Africa that is a common theme, including this World Cup. The more they get frustrated, the easier it is to play them because they start taking shots that are bad shots, like shots 40 yards out, because they think it's hearable, like in the same version of Cabo Verde.
Mhm,
But here's the problem: is it seems what happened after the Mexico game is the coach was able to get through to these players.
mhm,
That's the issue. But then the way they celebrated also gave me the idea that they were so happy that they've gone through that I think it's going to be a better chance because they've already accomplished something. And to be fair, Canada's also done the same thing. But
yeah,
at least with Canada, we spoke about this.
yeah,
There's a lot of Canadians that what this wasn't their expectation is quarterfinals. There are a
yeah,
bunch of Canadians who really believe Canada should be in the quarterfinals. So Canadians didn't celebrate in the same way because also we lost our last match,
yeah,
which kind of dampened the whole view while South Africa won their last match
mhm,
against a team that everyone expected them to lose. So to me, this, as you said, this isn't like, oh, I can simply just say, bang, one team is going to win, one team isn't going to win. No, this is, I know what version of Canada is going to show up. We've
mhm,
actually been very consistent. The problem is which version of South Africa shows up
mhm,
because our defense hasn't yet faced a team with, like, we saw how poorly we faced Manzambi and Brilumbolo,
yeah,
two runners. We struggled against them. Guess what? Guess all South Africa's front three, all runners, all pacey, all all have dribbling ability. So it's gonna be really interesting. I still say for Canada, this is our best case scenario.
oh,
This is our
and
best case
yeah,
to get through.
and I've made this point constantly. I said best case scenario, it's the best case scenario for both sides, right? For South Africa, the alternative was you're going home. For
Right.
Canada, the alternative was you'd be playing South Korea. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think both teams and both fan bases are objectively fine and valid to feel excited about this matchup.
Mm.
What I won't do is I won't start a conversation as if it's like one team. I'm not going to
Until
get
it's
into
guaranteed.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into the weeds of like, oh, Canada has no football history. I'm like, yeah, we do. Relax. Like, nor am I gonna
Well,
say, oh,
no. Well, no, no, not. Let's be honest. Not to
no,
the extent of
no.
these other countries.
Oh,
Like we,
agree.
and
I agree.
also the level. Okay, here's where you and I both disagree on this quite a lot. I do think just because you're doing well on the pitch doesn't mean shit. It just means that you do have good, somewhat good players. In every country, there's
Hmm.
always a run. You get lucky. You get a group of good players and you look good for a short period of time.
Hmm.
We've seen this. It's
Yeah.
it's happened. It's happened in multiple countries.
Mhm.
From time to time, you just get Zambia had a generational run for like 4 years. And if I told you, list me multiple Zambian players who play in Europe, you'd probably get one. I think
Mhm.
Daka's the only one, if I'm not wrong. Maybe Daka's not even Zambian, but at Leicester. But like
Mhm.
they had a run where they won the AFCON.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that, right? Like
Mhm.
countries do that. But for me, Canada doesn't have a rich history of football.
I, I, we don't. I can accept a rich history, but don't talk as if it's like you know how people go for this. You know the typical stick to this or go to that. I'm like, okay, easy there, people.
Here's where I kind of agree. Here's where I kind of agree. No, 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 no.
Oh,
Listen,
go.
listen, listen to my back. Listen to my thing.
I'll give
I
you
think
your point.
I
Yeah.
think I hate that argument of no, you should only play one sport. That's stupid. All
Yes.
the It's a world game, and we've spoken about this. You're seeing grassroots level football all over
Mhm.
Canada. That's a good thing. But football isn't the number one sport in Canada. It's still hockey. It'll take years before hockey switches to football. And also, we have other sports that are just as big. No, yeah, no, you can say that with every country, Quill. Every
True.
country that long has history. Guess what? China created football. Where are they? Nowhere. Okay, so it's just because you have a long history doesn't mean good. Long history just means it's long.
Don't
That
you
means nothing.
dare! Don't you dare
No,
ignore 8-1 in Honduras. We we
like
we lived through it.
yeah, but
But
that's what I'm
mhm,
saying. The argument for Canada is it played against shit teams and still lost. Canada was in a weak conference and wasn't good anyway. Whilst other countries can actually say, like Bosnia, for instance, Bosnia can say, we've been battling demons for years. We've been battling
mhm,
the Frances, the Spains, the Italies, the Germanys, the Czechs, like when Czech was good. Like
mhm,
there was a point Central Europe was crazy. You had to face Hungary, Poland, Germany, Austria, like a best. I know Poland's technically East Europe, but hold on to me. Hungary, Germany, all those teams were crazy. Canada doesn't have that rich history. Rich is my point.
mhm.
Heck, the best Canadian player of all time is English in Owen Hargreaves.
Who
Like
who?
you need to remember this. Like people weren't choosing Canada. That's why if you had a rich history, yeah, if you had a rich history, Canadians Canadians would have played for Canada. You wouldn't go. There's never been a point I've seen someone going, oh wait, I'll go play for another country when Canada has a rich history. Let's be honest. Owen Hargreaves wasn't that long ago, boys. He played in '08, '10. Like this is only 15 years ago, 16 years ago. When did he retire? 2013, 2014. So it's like 14, 12 years ago now. Come on. Like if you can hold on to your best players, nah. The guy's a here's a Canadian English accent whenever he talks.
It is
What
the
are we
funniest thing
talking
to
about?
listen
It's the
to all the
funniest thing,
time.
man. But
But
go on.
no, but to the point, I think back to the matchup before we get into South African fans versus Canadian fans yelling at each other over who is better and who is not. I think it's a very good matchup for both sides because I think there's opportunity in both places, and I think
Mhm.
to me, right, Steph is not. Steph
What's Steph
is
saying? Let me. I
you
walked away.
Steph is not for this. Okay, Steph is we don't claim
Alfonso
Sure.
Davis is not better than. Let's first of all let's relax. Owen Hargreaves is a better player. Has always been a better player than Alfonso Davis. Like it's not even close. Alfonso Davis had one good year. By the way, funnily enough, both Canadians have been injured their whole career. But let's not forget, Owen Hargreaves went to Bayern Munich, won the Champions League, went to Manchester United, was integral at winning the Champions League. The guy started for England. Yeah. Alfonso Davis might start for England, but guess what? If he was in this era, he wouldn't even start. England didn't even take the best freaking left back in Lewis Hall. You think Alfonso Davis would have made it? No way. Like, let's also be honest. Let's Sometimes it's okay to be objective, boys. Like, there's levels to this. Hargreaves had a world-class run for years, for a long ass time. Alfonso Davis had one good tournament, was named as the best left back in Europe. And then guess what happened after that? Injury after injury after injury. We saw Owen Hargreaves play for a lot longer before his injuries really kicked in. Let's be honest here. But hey, he's a best Calgary product. Let's just say that then.
I will. I think for me that the key for that matchup is for Canada versus South Africa. It's it's the health of a player, but it's not Davies because I feel like at this point Bayern will just be like, "Don't play," and Canada will be like, "Are you sure?" If Davies wants to play, I think he should play. But I think if Bombito is healthy enough to go 45, I think
I think it's too dangerous to do that, man. I think now you just have to play the team that's
that,
got you there. You you don't rock the boat.
and if that's the case,
Like bring him on second half or whatever,
yeah,
but I don't think you rock the boat, man.
I I don't think. Do you think South Africa is capable? I think
Yeah.
the answer is yes.
I'm gonna say this, and I think people are gonna find this crazy. South Africa better than Canada right now. They are. Don't let that Mexico game fool you. You should have, if you can go back and listen to our stuff. We highly rated South Africa. The problem is we've known this about South Africa for the longest time. They just don't like scoring. They'll create the chances, they'll try and play really good football, and sometimes it doesn't work, especially against really good teams. If you go to AFCON, you'll see what Akwasi just said. When they played Nigeria, they were the better team. Nigeria punished them.
Hmm.
There's a difference. When they played was it Egypt? They it was uh, in the AFCON. They played a really good side. They were the better side, but one team is just more clinical. You could feel when one team gets into the attacking zones, the attacking phases of play. You could tell like that felt more threatening than when South Africa had the ball. I think when
Hmm.
you see South Africa play Canada, it's just a question of which version of South Africa do we get. Do we
Mm.
get really good attacking South Africa? Bro, South Africa beat South Korea. It wasn't a smash and grab. They actually beat them. They were the better side. South
Hmm.
Korea didn't have chances. Think about that. South Korea had chances against Mexico. Like we would never say that against South Korea. We would never say we'll shut them down completely. We'd say they'll have chances, we'll have
We'll have
chances,
chances,
and
and
we'll
we
just
hope we
hold.
convert more. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what we would say. We wouldn't say we're going to shut them down. So I think this is the thing. We're now in the knockout rounds. So it's a
Yes.
question of can we be consistent? And can we hope South Africa? To me, South Africa got really excited, and that's usually a bad sign because it means they've gone too happy. And Canada actually has a point to prove. No, it's a fact, bro. You see this over and over and over again. Because getting down from you're elated, and now you have to like come back down to where you have to compete again. It's a
Versus
lot.
locking in. Yeah.
Versus you could see from the Canadian players, they were upset
Hmm.
because in the end, we should have equalized. At the end, we had multiple opportunities to, Switzerland sat deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, allowing us to spam the box essentially. But
Hmm.
we wouldn't. I just my concern with Canada this whole tournament is we play well in phases.
Yes.
It's like a 10-15 minute period where we'll play well. And just because we obviously have a lot of issues, we've had issues with injuries, so on and so forth. But I think first of all, our midfield, we need to stack here.
Yes.
So only when they brought in Stefan and Promise
Promise near the
Code.
end.
Yeah, that's true, Stefan. I agree. Like, but even the introduction of Miller changed stuff because he was more direct, and that
Mhm.
actually helped us. But against South Africa, we have to have one the squad correct, but we're always going to have an issue because now we're facing a 4-4-2, another 4-4-2, but their 4-4-2 is two mobile
Mhm.
strikers that are comfortable going into attacking mid.
Yeah.
But we have the better strikers, I think.
Yes, because with all due respect, we have strikers who finish. Maybe not consistently, but they finished, and but by the rules, it'll be Kyle Aaron again, and I don't know if that's the right. Like
I don't. Yeah. Again, you see, I don't think that's a right play. You know what? Actually, you're gonna hear something crazy from me. I think it is a right play because they don't have. No, maybe you play Promise because of a physical nature.
I think in this case you play Promise. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because they have tiny center backs. South Africa have very small center backs.
Yeah,
You
and
see, this is what I mean. Like we're still not sure what version they will play. The same team that played South Korea. They won't change it.
mhm,
We, on the
more
other
than likely.
hand, we have no. It's not more likely. They don't even have options. It's just gonna play the same. And the guy who I don't know if the guy who got the red card will play this game. They might choose to just bench it because uh, I don't know.
I know, Steph. It's just let the positivity rush over you. Just let it wash over you.
What did
But
stuff?
no, he doesn't. Well, and I agree. I don't think Marsh will start
Uh,
Promise. He'll never start Promise. He'd
I think
rather.
it's because he doesn't, and there's a reason. It's not like he's not starting him because of hate. He doesn't start him because he doesn't track back. Like Promise isn't a good. He doesn't track back at all. Kyle Laren, as much as I hated his pace because he is slow, he does help. He does. He's tracked back in the last game compared to Promise. Promise didn't track back at all. We haven't seen him track back ever.
I would then argue if that's the case, then you might as well just start Tanny. But
Yeah,
then, yeah.
but then that and by the way, Tani also played well when he came on.
Hmm.
I think Tani's the first game his reputation kind of like tanked because of that.
Oh, oh, I don't think it tanked from that game. The Tanny, since he's been with the national team, has just not finished.
But
He's a he,
it's his all round play is actually good. He meshes better with Jonathan David than anyone else.
agreed.
They actually the combination of play that those two have, they're on the same wavelength.
That well,
So it makes it easier. So that's why it's crazy to me as a coach to go, oh, I'm gonna play someone else who does score, but we don't have the same rhythm when he's in there. which is promise.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
You bring in promise when you're looking for a goal, but you don't start promise for the reasons of what happens when we're trying to when a guy can't track back. A
Mm,
defender now has enough time to pick passes. A defensive midfielder has enough time to pick passes now.
mm,
You're gonna get dominated. And also, they in the last game, mind you, the South African coach switched from a 4-4-2 to a 4-2-3-1.
hmm.
Who wants more? I think is it more or score?
I would assume he meant score, but
Yeah, I don't know. But again, I'm with you. I don't think this is like a oh yeah, there's an automatic team that I would go for here. These are two teams that arguably you could say they're on the same level. Oh, I don't even know why I'm saying arguably. They are on the same level. They have
mhm.
yeah, it's we're talking about two very two, I don't say very, very is actually me. They're two somewhat mediocre sides for the knockout rounds. Because now we're talking about the best teams of each group.
Mm.
And when I first looked at our group, I thought it was a lot easier. Then we got lucky. Let's be honest. We didn't get an African side. We didn't get, we actually got really lucky in a lot of things in our group.
Mhm.
So I'm happy. Because even look at the teams we thought that were Ghana for I was gonna swear, but Ghana we didn't think we're gonna do anything. That they're in the knockout rounds. They're in the bloody knockout rounds
They're in the knockout
already.
rounds, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So hey, I know you're Canadian. I know you're feeling you want that toxic positivity. I'm not toxic. I'm objective. I
I,
will say what I see. And by the way, I've been spot on except my hate for France. France is the only team I hate on. But I've been fully I've been fully vindicated on a bunch of these results. Just because not because we're good at this, it's just because we have more data. We've seen how these teams play. So yeah.
it'll be an interesting matchup come Sunday. I will be live. I'll be back home by then, so I will. I
Oh, when do you leave, when do you leave back tomorrow night?
uh
Tomorrow morning?
no, I'm coming back Sunday morning.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're gonna watch the game there?
No, no, the game is at 3
Oh, okay, okay,
on
okay.
Sunday, so I should be back by like 1 or 2, and
Oh,
then yeah,
nice.
yeah,
You're doing the spots? You're doing a little tours or
yeah, yeah, yeah. Taking in so we did the Senegal Uruguay game today. I mean Senegal Iraq game.
Iraq? Yeah.
Sorry.
How
I,
was that in the stadium?
the stadium, it was 70% Iraqi fans. It was
Well,
the
you said this in the group. You said
yeah.
in the group chat. You said that it was one Senegal shirt
Oh,
versus 1,000 Iraqi shirts.
when we left the hotel and we were walking towards the train station, it was
Mm.
just it was like Iraq family, Iraqi family, Iraqi group, Iraqi group, and then like one Senegalese. It was one Senegalese kid. I was like, okay, they're here. Once you got to the stadium, you were just like, first of all, everyone was wearing green because
Yeah, I
the
saw that. I saw
yeah,
the Senegalese fans were wearing green, and
Iraq was
Iraq
wearing
was.
green.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like, why? Well, maybe just because that's a shirt that people bought.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was the shirt that
it
they
is what
bought.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I think once the like I said to we there was a nice little banter in the group we were in because there was clearly three pockets of Senegalese fans. There
Mhm.
was one like lower level on the Union side or on the city side, and then the bleacher side, and then one.
Wait, did you wear Senegalese shirts or what did you wear?
So I
'Cause I
got a
know you wore a
Senegalese.
jersey.
Yeah, I wore the what's it called? I wore the channel jersey. Uh,
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
Yeah, on that one, and I picked the most West African name that may have been from Senegal there, but it was really from Gambia. So if he knows. I wore his jersey because I have an extra one of his, um,
Mm.
And so, yeah, like after the first goal, I jokingly said, like, it got real quiet in here. It got real quiet because they were up for it. Like the Iraqi fans were up for it. And
Mhm.
then the red card just like turned everything in
Killed
that game.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but Senegal were good. Hey, look at what happens when you start Di in his. You actually start pace on the wing with
Mhm.
dribbling ability. You play it again. Another bad coaching situation that I
Yeah.
can talk forever about. But
Mhm.
they look good. But against Iraq, we knew they were going to look good.
Yeah, they did. I
We-
think if Iraq had all 11 players, I think maybe they could have found a goal or two just because they were bad in transition. Senegal was defending at the start of the game, at least. Once you
Mm,
lost a player and then they got rid of a forward and threw in another defender, it was like,
brother.
there's
There's
nothing.
nothing. I'm sorry. I don't care what version of Iraq showed up. They were not scoring. When Pap Gay is bending balls like that, like scoring bangers like that, you're cooked. You there's there's no version of events. Dude, they created five big chances and scored five. That
Yes.
means technically they could have won that game seven, 7 or 8.
Oh, they could have. They
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um Sane missed two good chances.
Two good chances. Yeah.
He chips
Sane or Mane, Sadio Mane.
Sadio Mane. Sadio, I
Uh,
keep on doing. You know this. I
yeah,
keep
yeah,
doing
yeah.
this. But
Yeah.
like he missed a couple chances. But I'm saying the first half, it's 1-0, and
Mm,
in transition, Iraq has moments where
mm,
if you see where they're missing the extra players. So that's why I'm saying they had a chance maybe to get one in there, and
mm,
that's what I'm saying. If they got that, maybe I don't think it would change the game. Maybe if they have all, it's not 5-0. Maybe it's
mm.
like 3-1. Maybe it's like 3-1 or like 4-1, something like that. I don't think it gets the five with a full because it like you said it. You say it should have five. It should have been eight. It really should have been
It
eight
should be.
because
But the red card, when did the red card happen?
in
It happened
the
like
in the ninth minute or no, like the 15th
no,
minute.
no, it was the 15th. It
Yeah,
was
sorry,
yeah,
15th minute. Sorry, yeah.
yeah. But it's all like I think it was kind of it was a light red card in my opinion. I think it should have been a yellow.
I agreed, and then
I think
like
it should have been a yellow.
yeah, and then to be honest, like 10 minutes later, they're on the break and they get the Iraq gets a deep free kick and it's a foul from behind, which
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is
Which should have
less
been a yellow.
which
Yeah.
and so when that happens, I'm like, if you're calling that a red,
Mhm.
like what you gave for
Well, no, it's
Senegal,
because the guy was stopping a goal scoring opportunity.
mm,
Is the reason why he gave him a red. That's the whole point. That was the
I,
whole point of it. And he wasn't in the box
but he
because
wasn't in the box either. It wasn't a penalty. It was a free
no,
kick.
that's no, yeah. If it was a if he was in the box, it would have
Mm,
been a penalty and a yellow.
mm,
But because he was outside the box, it was a red.
okay, I'm seeing
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying
yeah.
here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So either way, like the issue you had, like I don't think even with I'm gonna be honest with you. The people who changed the game were the bench players. When Ndi came on,
Hmm.
when um Nico Jackson came on, Pap Gay came on, they
Yeah.
changed. You realize the gap in levels. That gap in levels was nuts. Like,
Yeah.
because they, Nico Jackson is such an interesting person for me because he looks equal parts amazing, equal parts shit. And it's so difficult to evaluate how good of a striker he is because he just creates so much chaos. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, I do know
but
what you mean.
again,
Yeah.
DI showcasing why exactly did you bring him to the World Cup if you didn't start him in the big games? He's played in more big tournaments than the
Hmm.
players that he was starting in front of him. It was making no sense to me why Dia wasn't being picked. Why would you
Yep.
place? Why would you play Sa over Dia?
I couldn't
Even though
tell
Sa
you.
scored 2 goals, right?
Mhm.
Like Sa's been really good for them, but Dia offers dribbling. He offers the same pace. He's a better passer than Sa. Like
Mhm.
he would have made your team. And you notice when he joined, they stuck more. They played more.
Mhm.
You know. So again, We don't know. Maybe SARS now. Maybe India has done enough to validate a start. Maybe the next game. It's gonna
Mhm.
be interesting if hopefully they make it through. I think they do make it through, but
I think they're
we'll
the
see.
last team in.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Well, you never know. Like Belgium could shit the bed and draw against New Zealand. Like we've seen weirder things. This World Cup has been very confusing sometimes. You can't tell me South Africa from no, South Korea clutched defeat from the jaws of victory. Like
Yeah.
like it's the dumbest thing ever. They were guaranteed through, and then they just went, we're just gonna lose the next two games in the same fashion. In the same fashion. Both of
One,
them.
yeah,
Oh man.
it's unbelievable. But no, that does it for now. So let me give you guys what the group round of 32 looks like, because now that we have one other group finished, we have some things which are now confirmed. So, as we said earlier, Capo Verde playing Argentina uh, later in Miami Gardens. So, Messi doesn't have to go far from home. He can play at his stadium. Good for him. That is set. We have Australia awaiting for Group G runners up. And again, reminder, Group G is the group with this group that are going to get
You're
going at 11
not
p.m.
sharing
tonight.
anything, by the way, just so you know. So you've been saying this group and stuff, but
Yeah. Okay. So the group is Group G is who they will. Oh, I haven't. Well, I'm
yes.
there. So Group G is the group that's playing tonight at 11. So we'll see the results tomorrow in our quick recap of it. But whoever finishes in second in the group with Egypt, Iran, Belgium, and New Zealand, as it stands currently, it is Iran. So basically, if all the teams draw again in these games, Iran moves through in the second place spot, and then Belgium in the third place. But they'll go below Senegal because just the point difference in likes. Now that being said, other groups that are set, we have one pocket which is complete: Brazil versus Japan, and then also Ivory Coast versus Norway. That one is set, and the winner of those two matches will face each other. You have Mexico awaiting a third place team. You have Spain awaiting the runner up of Group J. And Group J, just to remind you, to give you the names, is Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan. So that'll be decided tomorrow as it stands. It would be Austria who they would be facing. We have USA versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's confirmed. And then the first pocket that was confirmed is South Africa, Canada, and the Netherlands and Morocco. And right now, it's projected we have France versus Sweden, and then Germany versus Paraguay in the top bracket. So again, everything's starting to fill in. That's what we have in terms of matchups coming up. And not sharing, I understand what you mean, because it's literally still not on the screen. I'm just out here talking to myself as if I'm dealing with everything, and I am
So
not.
so what are your predictions for Egypt, Iran, New Zealand, Belgium? Let you know what all of them because by tomorrow we'll probably know what's going on.
This
Like
is
before the
true.
Algeria Austria game, because I don't know if you're going live tomorrow,
I'll
but
try to go live. Well, I'll try to go live at 9 tomorrow evening as well, just to recap like we did here. But let me actually share this instead and make sure that it's properly shared, as you see, for viewers' purposes. All right, so what I'm predicting. So Egypt, Iran, I'm gonna go with a draw here.
wow, really?
Yeah.
I think Egypt beat Iran. It wouldn't be high scoring, but one
That
nil
feel
maybe.
yeah, that feels like a 1-0 game. I'm gonna go with a
Yeah.
draw, 0-0, to push him
Mhm.
up. And then I'm gonna go with
Belgium should beat New Zealand, which means they'll draw.
that.
That's kind of how Belgium have been moving this World Cup. So
Yes.
it's
They
it's it's you know what's crazy? I would
mm,
love if Egypt draw Iran and Belgium draw Iran and Belgium goes a third place team. That'd be fantastic.
If yeah, I'll have to look at that how that maths out, but I don't think that would actually math out. But
I think it
yeah,
just means Iran go through.
yeah, it would
It
just
goes
mean
Egypt
Iran
and
go through.
Iran go
Yeah,
through. Yeah, and then
mhm.
Belgium takes its chances in the last eight because
And
they have what, zero as the goal
they would
difference.
they would be at
So
zero
that'd be
goal
okay.
difference. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then at three at zero goal difference, the yeah, they'd be like in six, so they'd be right underneath Senegal. So they'd
Yeah.
be the first out if everything goes as we project it to go.
Mhm.
Okay, so that would be that, and then Croatia, Ghana.
Ghana can't keep riding its luck. I think this is a Croatia win.
Listen,
Like I still think it's low scoring. I think it's gonna be 2-1.
I don't
I
know what
think
to make of Ghana.
Ghana have shown that they can score. So 2-1.
They've scored one goal in two games. I don't think that's you scoring.
That's what I mean. I mean, yeah, that one goal was clearly a very important one because they drew against England. So they shut down England. That's impressive. So I either way, Croatia don't have like. Here's the problem. Croatia's whole thing is in the attack, in the midfield,
Hmm.
and I think that's actually Ghana's strongest point. You have your
Hmm.
Renchi there. You have Party because this is going to be in the US. No,
Yes.
yeah. So Party plays,
Hmm.
dude. Party against Modric and them. I think it's probably the most physical midfield that
Hmm.
Croatia is going to face. So I think Croatia still beats them, but like it's going to be a tight game.
Hmm.
So
So
two
for
one.
that, yeah. So we'll go and see, and then England, Panama,
Oh,
England, England.
England. Yeah, the
Just
amount of vitriol they got for that draw against Ghana really
they need to win.
they need to
They need to
win.
beat a team by six for us to think, okay, they might be back, but we won't
Now
even believe it.
now the best game tomorrow.
Oh
That's the
yes,
best game because
the
I really think Colombia should beat Portugal. I would actually say Colombia the better team.
mhm.
I would have said that even before the tournament, by the way, just so that people. I was hating on Portugal way before it became cool. That midfield makes no sense, and I know people think that's crazy, but trust me, that
Get
midfield only makes sense if your coach is Luis Enrique, not Roberto Martinez. So
true. Mhm.
Colombia, Portugal, I think Colombia beat them, but I
I,
can also see a draw. I can see like a. This
mm,
is high scoring though,
so like a
because neither
2-2.
team can defend.
Yeah. Okay. So like 2-2, 3-3
Two
type of
two,
game.
3-3.
Okay. Fair enough. And then DR Congo should beat Uzbekistan. But here's the
Oh,
problem. Here's the problem.
Congo doesn't know how to score.
Congo doesn't know how to be a possession team. They are built to be defend and transition, defend and counter.
You're saying
So
Congo doesn't know how to be a possession team, is what you mean?
yes, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said doesn't know how to beat
Oh
a
no, no,
possession team.
B. No.
Oh, B, yeah, yeah, that's true. That's why I went E
Yeah.
because their fullbacks expect you to attack so that
Mhm.
they can when they win the ball, they're countering into space.
Yes.
So if Uzbekistan sits deeper, oof.
Hmm.
And by the way, Uzbekistan aren't that bad. They have good players. It's
No.
just they're still very inexperienced.
Yes.
So
I
this
think
could be a game
yeah.
of like Uzbekistan going, we can't just leave this tournament without a win. That could be a danger. I don't think it's as clear cut as Congo just
It's
wins. This could
yeah.
go either way, to be honest.
This has the fingerprints of Congo versus Jamaica in the
Correct. Actually,
yeah.
that's exactly how I see it. I see
Yep.
it exactly like I thought Congo was gonna steamroll Jamaica. Then you watch the game, you're like, wait, how is Jamaica the better team here? What's
Be-
going on?
because none of you want the ball.
Yeah,
That's why.
either side wants to keep the ball, so it just keeps bouncing back and forth. Um,
Mhm.
and then
Indeed. Okay.
Algeria, Austria, I think it's clear. I think Austria
It should be
probably,
Austria there.
yeah.
Okay. Yep. Perfect.
Jordan,
All right.
Argentina. Oh, duh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And for Cheryl, Sherry, I see you here. I'll give you what the African matchups are one more time and actually share it.
Why are you calling
So
her Cheryl? Her name is Sherry.
I know I made the mistake. So Sherry, the confirmed African matchups we have Canada versus South Africa. That's on Sunday.
Great
We
game.
have Morocco versus the Netherlands. Also
Great
a
game.
good game. We have Cote d'Ivoire versus Norway.
I can't
Oh,
wait for Ivory Coast to beat Norway because Norway wanted to face Ivory Coast. That's why they played the second team. They
mhm,
wanted to play Ivory Coast.
yep.
And I'm telling you, Ivory Coast. Did you wait? First of all, did you see what Bastian Schweinsteiger said
I
about
didn't
Ivory
see it.
Coast?
No, no, I didn't see
So
it.
Bastian Schweinsteiger, who's someone I highly rate and rated, I should say, prior to this, had said Ivory Coast plays like a stereotypical African team, and that to me was like, what the hell are you talking about? They actually don't. They have two technical wingers. They have they actually have the most fluid front three of all the African sides, including Morocco. Morocco's front three aren't fluid. They Brahim Diaz is the one who orchestrates. The other ones have like really
Mm,
specific roles. Ivory Coast, you'll see Yan Diomande and Ahmad switching sides. You'll see if they're playing Wahi, who's the worst of the bunch. I like that they've played Pepe as the nine.
mhm.
Pepe, who's a natural winger, who can also play as an attacking mid. They all kind of dovetail. So I want Ivory Coast to be Norway so that they shut up all these stupid European commentators who keep going back to stupid ideologies that I thought we were gone, we were past when these African sides of it's
Okay.
really frustrating. But
Yeah.
either way, Argentina lose to sorry, Argentina beat Cape Verde. Who said
Yes.
Argentina
Yes.
lose
And
to
then
Cape
yes.
Verde?
Yes. And then Argentina, Cape Verde. That's the only ones that are confirmed. So those 4/5 are confirmed.
And that's
But
the
we're
only one that's a wash, by the way.
yeah.
I think all these teams that you're seeing there, sorry, you're scrolling too quickly. Could you scroll down a little bit?
Sure.
The first ones. So I think US, so Germany, Paraguay, I think Germany beats Paraguay.
Hmm.
France, Sweden, I think France beats Sweden. Sweden have been shocking
Yep.
throughout. Um, then you have Morocco, Netherlands is tight.
Hmm.
Those are two very good teams, two teams that kind of know how each other play. South Africa, Canada is going to be open.
Yeah. I think open suits. Yeah. Chaos ball. And the player who needs to have a big game in that game, Tejan Buchanan. He's been invisible in the group stage, and
No, but
whether
it's because I've said this about Tejon multiple times. He thrives in chaos matches as opposed
Mhm.
to thriving when teams have team. By the way, if you notice in the first two games, teams had marked him as Canada's threat,
Yes.
so they were doubling him.
Hmm.
So that's not going to change. No one's dumb enough to like let you go 1v1 against Tejan. So
Uh,
Tejan's going to have a bad World Cup the whole way. But it's a good thing. It's a mark of it's
it's a
actually
mark
a
of
good thing
respect.
because it's a
Yeah.
mark of respect, but it's also uh, a damning thing because
Hmm.
Ali Ahmed and Liam and Miller, both of them haven't proved they've showcased that they're not good enough.
Mm.
Oh,
Consistently enough. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. As we're wrapping up of all times.
No, let's see what Mo's up to.
Hey, watch your backroom volume. Yes, I
Yeah,
know. Celebrate
yeah.
Senegal.
You have something in the background. Mo, we hear your background.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, hold on a second. There's more soccer happening.
yeah. One more. The games are done. Oh, the sorry. Isn't the game starting at 11? Yeah, the games are starting at 11. Oh, so it is 11. Jeez. Senegal decided to
Is
show
that
up.
better?
Huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can hear you with that background.
Yeah, there's two games, so TVs are also running everywhere.
True, true, true. How'd you like your finally you guys playing the eye? Excuse me.
Yeah,
How
bless
does
you.
that work for you?
Uh,
How'd you like the game?
well, the first half was frustrating. Once they had at 10, they should have scored more goals then. So the whole Senegalese diaspora was like pissed because you got to score a lot of goals. But I think the moment Gay came in, Ilman came in, that's when you start to see more of the flow of what we've expected to happen. That's when they
Oh,
started to be more
sorry.
comfortable.
I was on mute. I've been saying this about Di for the longest time. Like, I don't get why you guys don't play him.
No,
His
you gotta rephrase
ability.
it. Pop Chow, why is not?
Oh,
Because
sorry, Pop
everybody else
Chow.
is like, play him.
Yeah, because he's one of the few players in world football, by the way, who's elite at dribbling, who's good at passing. He's not the best finisher, don't get me wrong, but it's not like Sar's a better finisher. It's not like Sar's physical attributes are better than Ndiaye's physical attributes, but technically, is a better technical player than Sar.
Yeah,
So it made no sense why you're playing Lamin Kamar's a 10 and you don't have Ndiaye on the right wing. Because both
it-
of them would have more synergy. They'd be better. They'd be more efficient together. Finally, he
yeah.
plays him. You see the game. It looks he makes Nico Jackson look better. He makes everybody look better. Like
He's a Brazilian like style player.
he is.
Um,
He
I
is.
don't. We don't know why. Is it maybe because he wants the old guard to play a little bit?
No, you know what it is? It's that US game. Ndiaye was shocking in that friendly. I think he was your worst player in that
Yeah,
friendly.
because he had a long season too.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
what
He
he
was
has to do with
terrible.
Everton, he has to
But
become
no, the way
like
the way you guys played in that game, it was like pass it to Ndiaye and just hope. Like
yeah.
you guys weren't doing anything else. And he's really good, but like you can't expect him to dribble past people, come back, defend, run back, get the ball again, dribble past three players. Like, but Iraq was
Yeah,
always going to make you guys look good. To be honest,
uh,
it's hard. It's like how we beat Qatar. It's
yeah,
not
but
really.
and they were down. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from everybody was that one, the old guards kind of let the other showcase what they had available,
Mm,
what they were capable of doing, right? Because it almost doesn't matter who you play against. It's what you do with the occasions and opportunities you get.
mm,
And Gabe pretty much have shown that if you give him enough time, space outside the box, it doesn't matter where,
yeah.
he's going to put it somewhere between those three posts.
Mm.
And that's pretty much why it opened the floodgates from there.
The problem with Gay though is you're right. If you give him time and space, he does look good. As you go further into the competition, no one's giving you time or space.
But that's why he takes those opportunities way outside that typically you
Mm,
do not get as much of a press. Because I even watched a few of his Villa Real games.
mm.
He does the exact same thing on the outside too.
No, yeah, he does. He
And
did it
he's
at
so
Marseille.
awkward that people don't
Yeah.
estimate that to go. So I
Yes.
think
It shows his long limbs make
yeah.
it look like he's not going to do anything.
So you have to be more adventurous. And I think the moment they start feeling themselves,
Yeah.
you say what?
He
Senegal
said
thought
Senegal thought Iraq was Morocco in the second half.
you see these people just trying to start trouble everywhere.
Listen, I will
Like
say I had the group that was around me at the game. First of all, there was this like 5-year-old kid who was having the time of his life. I haven't
Mm,
seen so many like Canadians who were just like all for Morocco in this matchup. I was just like, I mean, sorry, not Morocco, for Senegal in this matchup. I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. But the people behind me were just like, yo, man, I can't wait for this game to be. They're treating this as if they're getting revenge for AFCON, and I'm like, guys, I'm contractually obligated to let you know that Morocco did win that game 3-0. due to rulings. The lawyer said so, so I have to let you know that's what happened. Whenever you say the true champions of Africa, it's always them. But like the our little there was a little pocket of it. I was telling Nelson earlier, like there was a pocket. There was like three. If you watch it, there was like three good sections of Senegalese supporters
Yeah.
in it. The rest were spread out, but it was just such a fun time. There was one person who kept on being like Senegal wreck the entire game, like by
But
himself, like
everybody's speaking Wolof now.
by himself behind me the whole game, and I'm just like guy, yo, Michelle, relax, like relax, it's okay. You're up 2-0. Relax.
Yeah, no, no, we knew it. Yeah, it had to be open the floodgates, and I think
Well, you
now
had
it,
to because of the
uh,
goal difference thing.
Hmm.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it answered the question even more. Now the question is hopefully he won't go back to the old
he
way.
will. He will. Because you could tell this was, he made changes. Like he still kept Idrissa Gana Gueye in the
Yep.
first game, in the
He
first
still
team.
kept Sadio.
The only thing he kept Mane. He refused. The only change he made was dropping Koulibaly. That's the only big change he made,
Which was a big one. Yeah.
which is a big, yeah, sure, it was.
No, it
It's
was.
not really a big one. The guy messed up 2 games in a row.
Yeah,
That's
but
an
it's still
easy
a big
change.
one as of like the status of the player.
Oh,
Because
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
yes,
but then he dropped Pap Gay to bring in Hassan Diarra. Oh, sorry, Habibi Diarra. Habib Diarra. But to me, I'm like, Habib's like okay. It still doesn't make sense. In my
more
opinion,
physical.
Pap Gay still the guy I would play, but I wouldn't play Pap Gay. I play Pap Gay and Lamin Kamara as the two sixes. And then as your 10, play Sa there, play on the right wing Adambai or Ndiaye, on the left wing Sadio Mane and Nico Jackson up top. But for some reason, he doesn't want. I don't know why he's so focused on playing Lamin Kamara as a 10 because he's not a 10.
I think the only one I'm still, even though he's a Chelsea player, and
Malang Sa, you're still going to.
no, oh, you mean Mamadou Sarr, the one that's
Mamadou Sa,
not.
sorry, Mamadou Sa.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying for Jackson that
Mm.
he has his moments
Hmm.
and he opens the space for other players, but he disappears a lot and he makes a lot of mistakes.
But I think chaos makers are better than goal scorers.
Yeah, but then he started two, and then there was
No,
not
because
much.
him coming in was one of the reasons why you guys started scoring more. Because Nico Jackson, whether you like it or not, you have to respect him. Because
Oh,
if you
that's my
'cause
guy.
if you give him enough space, he will score. The
Yeah,
problem with him is you're not sure which of the three chances he's going to take is going to be the goal. It could be the easiest of the chances or the hardest of the chances. He
and
reminds me very much of Kai Havertz at Germany, where Havertz will look amazing until the final shot because you're not sure what you're going to get.
but
I
then he
think,
go and score in the high
but then
stake games.
exactly. So for me, Nico Jackson, I think he's a good player. I still think you should play him as your number one striker. I think he's still your best striker. Sa at the moment is in
He's raw.
he's raw.
Yeah.
He's you know what he is? He just has great physical attributes. He's tall, he's fast, has a good touch on him, but like his lack of concentration is an issue. He misses the easiest of chances.
That
Too
can be
many times.
that can be fixed, but height and physical can't.
Yeah, no, but so is Nico Jackson. Nico Jackson's taller than him. Nico Jackson's also quick. Nico Jackson's stronger.
But
I
if
think
had but if had some time where it's like what are you doing, Nicola? Like
Hmm.
those moments, and he's doing it for me for country and club. So it's like,
yeah, but here's a funny thing. You're talking about club, right?
yeah,
Jackson for club was the reason why Cole Palmer scored as many goals as he did because he
oh
created
yeah,
so many opportunities. Here's the problem. Nico Jackson creates chaos. The guys who are supposed to score because of said chaos don't. And it's because you are playing Sa there. If you play Ndiaye is a better scorer than Sa. Heck, he scored more than Sa in the last season. So Ndiaye, you play Iliman Ndiaye. Heck, Mbaye has already shown that Mbaye is good enough to start.
He should be starting all the time.
The issue is the left side. No one's talking about the left side. No one's talking about Mane. Because Mane technically is the one who should be benched.
Thank you, Egypt. Merci. I could see that point, but I think sometimes one of those things where I guess they want
Mane
to
didn't get
still
benched.
be able to have someone that draw a few players.
Who, Mane?
Yeah. Well,
Mane
they still have
over
to.
Ndiaye?
They still have
Mane-
to respect
Mane-
them still.
No, you don't. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding. If I'm the opposition, I don't care if the ball goes to Mane. I really don't. Mane isn't good anymore. Like here's how I view it. Mbaye has already shown he's more dangerous. Sa already has the goals. Nico Jackson, even with all the things you said, is still your best striker. And then Ndiaye has shown that already that he can score. Mane, they kept Mane this game so that he can score and get his like confidence or his stats or whatever. He still didn't score against Iraq. He played the whole game. He's the only member in your entire attack that was not benched. Everybody else got benched. Everybody.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening behind closed doors.
Brother, it's clear your experienced players have been told they won't get benched. Idrissa Gana Gueye doesn't get benched. Mane doesn't get benched. Koulibaly only got benched because it was so clear that he's so bad that they had to do it.
What is that face for?
Because he's opened up his eyes.
The goal line goal line clearance from New Zealand. It's still 0-0. I thought they had scored, and
New Zealand or Belgium?
Belgium nearly scoring.
Wait, did someone miss a PK?
From whom? I'm not even watching any of these games. It's too late. If I start watching them, I'm going to sleep at 2.
So same. Oh, they're checking. No, they're checking something for the.
So that was Iran that missed their PK, right?
So it would seem, yeah, Iran missed the PK.
Yeah, keeper stopped it. Yeah, that must be a good game. But
it is a good game. But yeah, if I stay up, I will kill everything that I hold dear, which is sleep.
But what time are you waking up then?
Listen,
like it's a Friday night. It's not like you're gonna do. You're waking up at 6 a.m. to do what?
It's my body wakes me up at 6 a.m. So it is what.
But
it is what it is.
To be honest, Senegal haven't showed me nothing yet. To be honest with you, because I think Pap Thiaw is still your biggest your
biggest enemy.
issue.
Yeah.
He's the gaffer.
I know he is. That's what I'm saying. If your gaffer was more objective. Wait, what's your take on Norway benching all of their players? Their main players to play Senegal, to play France.
Côte d'Ivoire, yeah.
For me, that's either show that you don't have enough depth, that you didn't feel secure enough to have your best players play. 2, maybe you ran scared. Like this
I think
this is a World Cup. I don't care if it's still a game for you to win for first place, or they already knew that they were going to lose anyways, like Holland said during the interview.
But, did he say that?
Yeah, he was during his interview the night before. It's like, clearly he knew he was not going to play.
Iran just scored. Iran just drew.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Go on. Sorry.
I desperately need Iran in this competition. For
we were talking about we were saying this World Cup is interesting. There's a
Yeah.
possibility Egypt don't get out of groups.
And if
And
they don't, they need to get slapped
can you
because
imagine if Iran tops the freaking group?
No, Egypt will get out of the group regardless because they'll
Oh,
go to
because they have
4.
4 points. Yeah, they have four
Yes.
points. So they get out as third,
Yeah.
depending on what Belgium and Netherlands
and
and New Zealand go.
yeah,
Oh, we're getting into the other
we all
group.
know that we want them to continue as far as they can because of
Who, Egypt
everything else
or
that's
Iran?
happening.
Iran.
Yeah,
I would like Iran to go through too.
Yes.
because well,
No,
clearly,
not just because of the geopolitics. If you saw how they've played every single game, they've been a really good side.
Hmm.
They played Belgium well. They played New Zealand well. That was a 2-2, right? New Zealand and
Yes, New Zealand
Iran.
was a 2-2. Yeah.
Great game. One of the best games that people weren't talking about.
dude, they're
That-
playing on pissed off mode.
yeah.
Oh, I would be too if I was told I can only be in the country for a checks watch 3 hours.
Yeah, I
Is
mean,
that what they were told?
they're probably
Well,
spending more time doing their equipment check than actually spending recovering time.
Wait, you're telling me they play and then they have to leave the country immediately?
Yeah,
yes.
That's
yes.
crazy.
Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
what the fuck is FIFA doing?
The,
The
they ain't
the
doing
orange
nothing.
the trail of orange Cheeto dust is very evident. So I
They're
can't tell
No,
you.
yeah,
it doesn't matter what Cheeto does. Like,
they're
if you're telling me
nothing.
a country can, then why don't you just change the games and say all their games can be played in other countries?
But
because
yeah,
because they won't do that.
yeah,
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, FIFA can do that though. They can
It's just
say tomorrow, hey, the next Iran game will be all Iran games will be in Canada. Why not just do that?
but
Or
well,
all the Iran games will be in
but then
Mexico.
it showed that also Canada's starting to have some weird stuff happening with visas at the same time. So then it becomes who
Wait,
is not
what
going to
what
be
visas? Like what visas?
like Senegalese
yeah
traveling visa, like
yeah
Senegalese
like
fans, a lot
like
were
and
rejected.
the videographer
Yeah,
people taking pictures from the office were not allowed in Canada.
yeah.
What the hell did Senegal do to piss off both the US and Canada? There's something
Oh,
going on in Senegal that we don't know about.
I'm starting to think that that when Senegal started to figure out that they have oil in their water and they starting to producing it by themselves, that
It pissed off a
it
lot of
pissed off
countries.
quite a few people. Because like, when was the last time someone heard Senegal had a war?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's
Like,
no reason. Senegal's one of the safer countries in Africa. So,
and the president was met with the other guy in the White House not long ago. Like, so I'm like, one of the few countries that they have the connection and you don't have crazy things happening from them. I
but
was
that being
baffled
said,
when we were
the,
in that list to begin with.
there's a but let's also be fair. There's a difference between your country mates being denied visas, and a host country telling another country you can only be there for 3 hours.
Yeah, they don't. That was pretty much that's and all the checks. I think their
So,
captain was questioned for almost 3.5 hours before he was allowed to meet the rest of his team.
dude,
Listen,
this is such a crazy World Cup. You know what's funny is you wouldn't even know that there's all of this shit happening because the games have been so good that we've been ignoring a lot of
oh,
the stuff that's going on in the background. Because remember, Senegal prior to the first match, which already was fueling things were weird. Senegal going into the stadium, they were held.
Yeah,
They were held for like 3 hours.
hmm
yeah.
They took
As you
all
can
their
tell
bags.
in the stand,
Yeah.
there's a group of fans that usually that's part of the
hmm
official team country traveling. You don't see them with the doing the whole standing up with Senegal on their chest. You don't
Mm.
see them because they all got denied. That's why I was telling some of my other Canadian and Americans. They're like, I know you guys all have crazy fans. It's like, where are all the people with the djembe and all of that? I said they're all at home watching. That's
yeah,
why.
because
And then they were celebrating was it Norway?
Mhm.
with the Viking things. They're like, man, look at how well they're traveling. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
But
of
also, it's
course.
also the tickets. Like, if the ticket prices were cheaper, you
but
would see people, the Senegalese, in.
But Senegal has a bond of $15,000 they have to deposit into an
just
account
just
to
to
get
get
a
the
visa.
visa.
Yeah,
So
but
here's
that's
your
not. But that's also you're pointing also to my whole talking point is Senegal to the US is probably a $2,000 ticket, and then
yeah,
you have so it's or maybe $1,500. So $1,500 for your ticket, $1,000 for the ticket for the stadium,
yeah,
and then
Plus
like
10K
plus
to for the chance to do it.
10K for the chance to do it, and your hotel
yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
so you had
transportation and food. Like
you had
you're at
50K.
yeah.
I I I said it in the group that me and Moose are in, but if there was ever a clear representation of access to this game in North America that isn't shown, that is shown as beautifully represented as this, is this. You have a group of people who have access to the sport, and there's another who are given a clear barrier for checks notes
Mhm.
reasons. And
No,
it's
yeah,
it's
it's basically this World Cup, this one
mhm,
specifically, is a World Cup for the rich.
yeah,
It's the World
and
Cup for countries that your
penalty
GDP stuff.
and the Belgium New Zealand game.
Yeah,
I
for
couldn't
the
care.
half, pretty
Yeah,
much.
and by the way, we're in the country of the haves, and
Yeah,
I can tell you, people are
Yeah,
not going. Like the true fans, the true Canadian fans, aren't in the stadium.
and and to add on that, being in the stadium today,
Mm,
like the thing I thought, I told the person I went with, like there was there was everything. You saw kids. I saw grandparents of Iraqi and Senegalese descent. I know that because I saw so many aunties who looked at me and I got the auntie look from them on all light. And I remember looking to the person I went with, I'm like, it's so nice to see this because for a lot of them, this is their only opportunity to see this type of a
Mhm.
game. But imagine how much more people would have been able to come if the tickets were accessible.
you would get fans. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
This is where, like, what you're talking about is representation. What I'm talking about is these there's a part that people don't understand. Fanatics.
Hmm.
When people say football is a religion, there's a every country has a subsect of fans that are crazy. The ones
Hmm.
that even when we look at them, we go, those guys are crazy. Okay. And we're football fans, but we know these guys are different level.
Hmm.
Those are the ones that you expect to see at World Cups. They're people who've never missed a World Cup. Guys who've
Quit your
gone
job.
through, yeah, they
Yeah.
quit jobs
Yeah.
just to go to the World Cup. That's what we're talking about. Those guys are not in the stadium. They've been fully priced out. There's a wonderful documentary about England '94
Yeah.
and the one that was in Italy, right?
Oh,
And
so that would have been 90.
was it 90 or 94?
94 is
94.
94 is in
USA.
the US.
Oh, 94, you say
It's
90.
90. Yeah.
90 was in Italy. So when they went to Italy, was it? Okay, yeah,
Penalty
sure.
not given. No penalty
So
given in the game, by the way, guys.
so the Italy, whatever the Italy World Cup was,
90. Yeah.
yeah. So in the Italy World Cup, there was more English fans that went to Italy than the ones who went to the stadiums. So like you would go to an English section and you'd be just like you're in Italy, but it's all English. And
Hmm.
anything you hear is English. That's the shit that this World Cup is missing. You're supposed to go to the Senegalese side, and all you hear is Wolof. You don't hear anything else, or French, right? You hear one of those two. You go to
Hmm.
the Egyptian side, it's all Arabic. You go to Morocco, it's all Arabic. You go to South Africa, it's Zulu or Hausa or whatever, right?
Hmm.
You go to those places and you get completely immersed into that culture. What this feels like is the only places that you go to that you do get that vibe is the Netherlands, it's Germany, it's the US, That's primarily it. And so Germans started complaining about Canada. They were like, the prices of everything is crazy for them. They're like, the price of beer is expensive. The price of this is expensive. And you're like, yeah,
Welcome.
welcome. that's actually that's what we say when
Yeah.
we go out. We go out and we say the exact same thing.
Yeah, went to breakfast with the wife. It was just me and her. It was $35. I'm like,
That's not bad. I've reached
That's
a
huh?
point where
actually
I say
not bad.
that's not
You,
bad.
you
That
said that like
that's
it's a. Do
dude.
you know how much it is for us?
Dude,
For a
dude, I
shit
said
breakfast,
it's.
40
I
bucks.
said breakfast.
Yes, I heard what you said. I'm
Dinner
telling
is a
you.
whole nother story.
Let me tell you something. If you were in Canada and you spend $40 for a breakfast for two people, that's cheap. That's
Oh,
cheap.
by the way, there was a coupon too. So,
Okay.
yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like for us, $40 for two people is like, wow, you got a
No,
deal. You must have had a coupon or something.
yeah, we had the. I just remembered now there was the, because the wife is very frugal, so she's the one that don't spend. So it was the buy
Fair
one
enough.
get one free
Deal.
breakfast. But as you can see, it was.
No, it's still expensive because it should be like when we first moved here, breakfast was like $20 for two people.
Yeah, I told the wife, I said, usually the same place we went, I said,
Mm,
if I remember a few years back, those were $8 or $9 meals,
yeah, a
but
person.
now they're
Right?
$16 meals.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah,
I'm like,
it's
oh,
and this is and we're not talking about places where the World Cup is being played. If
oh,
you're near the
yeah.
stadium,
Mm-mm.
I I I believe those prices are probably yeah, like
There-
well,
there's
Akwasi's
only
there, but I know
one. I
Akwasi eats nothing but freaking carrots.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what a full meal is.
Yeah. I think there's only one place, was I think in Atlanta. The owner
Mm,
of the Atlanta Falcons, he's like a very wealthy guy,
mm,
Home Depot. I think
mm.
he's the only stadium that said he will not increase the price of the food.
Oh,
Mm.
And yes, because I think if when you talk about the owner of a teams in
like an
general,
actual a guy who cares about the team.
yes, that's the
Mm.
Yeah.
Arthur is that guy. That's why even the US, after he made a small donation for US,
Hmm.
their US, I guess their home for the national team will be
Hmm.
called after him. And when he saw um that, the transportations, everybody else was quadrupling the price,
Hmm.
he reached
Mm.
out to the transportation company, same price that pre World Cup has
Hmm.
stayed there. I was like, so all of that, he says that nothing would change. It was just business as usual.
I'm
That's
gonna
why.
be honest.
Uh,
I think I genuinely believe you shouldn't even
yes.
people for the World Cup shouldn't even pay for like in that city because if you allow people to travel around your city, you're gonna make more money. They're going to go to different stores and buy stuff.
Mm.
Like and what they're only here for a month. You just
And they
run a
spend.
month thing. They'll spend money.
I mean, on that, I mean, to me, I think you have to look, and this is where I think cities that are places that are easy to move around and work. I think Toronto works for that. Like a day
Yeah,
pass using just the GO trains, for instance. Belgium just scored 1-0. It's it was like $9 for for a day full day pass for the GO train, and that's like anywhere on the GO train. So if someone who's like after the game, like, what do we want to do? Do we want to go further down? Do we want to go all the way down to Niagara Falls? Flash my ticket. I go down to the falls, flash it. I come back in the evening. Stuff like that matters, and I think that's where, like you were saying, was like where people were being like, yeah, well, this train that usually costs $10 to take, it's actually going to be
A
$72
hundred.
now
Oh, you
because
mean 100? They,
yeah, yeah, I know, 100. Those are the moments. Trossard scores for Belgium, so it's 1-0
nice.
for that. So we are in the chaos witching hour now. But no, I think people should look at that, and if you don't have that type of infrastructure, you better be putting it in so that it's
but
accessible.
do you not remember when? At least we can only speak about Toronto because
Ooh.
Toronto's our closest big
Hmm.
city and it's hosting. But Toronto had done this like economic feasibility study about this, and they were discussing like how much hotels are going to make, how much restaurants are going to make, how much bars are going to make.
Mhm.
And one of the things that indicated is not like increasing the prices of stuff. It was just the amount of people who'd show up would ensure that whatever, even if you do increase the prices just a little bit, you'd still make money. But because people didn't show up because of the ticket prices
Mhm.
and people already stocked up on things, now they have to increase the price of an individual item because they were expecting, say, 100 people to show up and then 10 guys pull up.
Yep, and
Yeah.
you can
now,
blame
now you
government
have
for
to,
that.
now exactly. But it's not just the government. Like whether Toronto was going to do the fan festival for free initially, then they started charging it, and now it's free again. But you've lost people who are going to come down just to be at the fan
Yeah.
festival.
I
Are
and
you going to go, by the way, Kwasi?
I might tomorrow. I think I'm going to a Blue Jays game tomorrow earlier in the day, so we'll see kind of
look at
how.
you,
Yeah, this guy's a big spend over here.
YOLO. Look at that.
Jesus, look at this guy.
Listen, in the words
Huh?
of many former partners, "F it, do the trip," and I'm gonna do the trip, and so I'm just gonna, we're gonna do that, and that'll be fine. So, no, I'm gonna catch in it because I know there's a lot of the Senegalese that we've seen. The conversation we've had was good game. Don't worry, we got you next tomorrow. We got you tomorrow, and so there's a bit of a kind
Teranga.
of
That's what
no.
we praise about.
Definitely. But guys, with that, I'm gonna wrap this up here because again, I was up till 2 this morning and I'd like to sleep. Um, because waiting for
Ooh.
it's been a weekend, a fun weekend, but a weekend still. But we'll do our best to be back here tomorrow to recap the games that were, and we'll finally have a full set of what our round of 32 will look like. Thank you,
Before I
Nelson, for
go, this
yeah,
guy was at the stadium 3 hours before the game started. I'm like, the hell is he doing at the stadium?
taking it
was
all
he,
in.
That's
was he
what you do.
putting cables down? This guy was running the cables for the TVs. This guy, what the hell was
Hey,
he
that's
doing there?
that's normal. What?
Brother, I'm there 15 minutes before the thing
Oh
started.
my
Oh, I
god.
hate those people.
I'm
Oh
that
my
No,
guy.
gosh.
The
no,
fuck am I doing there? Am I playing?
Nelson.
no,
What am I?
Nelson,
My
Nelson,
sit
Nelson.
listen.
isn't going anywhere. I paid for it.
Hey, Nelson.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna
Nelson,
sit in the
Nelson,
seat.
I hate when, and especially when I knew where our seats were, and so when our
Yeah,
seats were
it's
like
on your
somewhat,
ticket.
anyways,
You
when
don't
you
get
were,
there, they go, "Hey, buddy, this is your seat." No, it's on your ticket. It says 14C, and you look at 14C, and you oh,
I,
there it is.
I hate when you get to a sporting event or any type of event, and it's already going, and then someone shows up right before or 10 minutes in, and you got to do the whole.
Well, if all of you show up early, then guess what? You're still gonna do that.
Guess what?
Brother,
We
it's a
got in.
sporting event. Guess what happens? You're gonna sit down. You're gonna, let's say you've been there 3 hours. You were there 3 hours before. You
Mhm.
sit down. You put your, you get yourself sorted. Maybe even go get your drinks or whatever. Guess what happens when the game starts? Some person is gonna go to the toilet. Some person is gonna go get drinks. Some person is gonna go get food. What happens then? You're gonna still have to do the shuffle, don't you? So it
Listen,
doesn't matter. Show up 15 minutes. This guy was out here coordinating with the guys on the ground how the grass is. There's not
yeah,
enough water here.
yes, yes,
He was with the
damn straight,
groundsman.
damn straight I was,
I'm usually
damn
I'm
straight.
usually two
That's
hours before our home games.
No, it
you
was
leave 2 hours before.
Yeah, usually to walk around, go around the grounds, go see friends, and kind of get yourself acclimated to before you get in and sit down.
No,
no
15
for
minutes.
it was, but honestly, I'm happy we went early. Yes, I know we got to our seats very early, but we took in a lot, and it was just like seeing how they had set everything.
Yeah, you
Again,
were there.
it's
You were there before the cameras were set up. You were there before the grounds people were there.
it was
I-
great.
I'm
It was
I'm
great
shocked there was a guy at the turnstile. There's a guy at the turnstile going, "The fuck are you doing here?"
and,
As you go through.
and I was scanning
Like
his ticket
genuinely,
versus him
genuinely,
standing in
Apache.
line.
Yeah.
When you showed me the video, of you where you were sitting. There was a couple or a family behind you,
Yeah.
and then one other family like maybe on the other wing. So you literally, how many people were there when you got there? Be honest. Maybe
When we
20.
when we sat down,
Yeah, when you sat down, how many people were there?
yeah, like sat down, it was about 20 or so people. Yeah.
And how many were working the grounds?
Listen, let me tell you, the more colorful they looked, that's how you know they were the volunteers. If they were wearing black, they were
Yeah.
with me putting the cables in, and then hammering in the bolts. Okay.
This
Yeah.
guy got a gig at FIFA over here telling us he went there to watch a game. Because I didn't see any video of him watching the game. I just saw him sitting up top 3 hours early.
If you
My
want to see
respect.
if you want to see videos of me screaming with Senegalese fans after goals are scored, sure, I can send those to you.
Send
They're
them.
there.
We gotta
Yeah,
see
we'll
those.
send them. Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna.
Yeah, live your
We,
best life.
I'm not spending 1,500 on a ticket. So hey, you did well. I'm not watching
So,
Senegal play Iraq. I'm sorry.
listen,
In a game that doesn't even matter technically.
it
Well,
didn't, but now it
they
might.
did.
It might. You know what? It we'll see because it depends on how these other games go.
Yes. And as it
Anyway,
stands, yes,
it's a one-one.
it's 1-1, but then 1-0 for Belgium, which means Belgium jumps up, and Iran sits at 3, and so that doesn't affect them because Belgium moves to second place spot, which at the end of the day really just means
Wait,
You
how
need
many
a
Senegal
points
is
does
blowout
safe.
from
Belgium?
someone.
How
Blowout
many
from
points does
someone.
Belgium have?
They would be on 5.
Oh, so so both Egypt and Belgium would have five each, as it
Yes,
stands.
yes, but Egypt would be in first because Egypt has
They
the better
they
goal
better
difference.
head to. Oh, okay, okay.
Yes. So
Who
as it
did they
stands,
beat badly?
they beat New Zealand 3-1.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
So as it
Gotcha.
stands, if everything holds, and we'll find out, let us know in the video afterwards. If it does, Iran currently sit behind Senegal in sixth with 3 draws. Hey, in the right group, Iran, you would have been in second in your group, but you're not in the right group, so now you're in third with your group with that. And the first team out currently is Algeria with a win, and they play Austria. And the last team in is South Korea. And so, as that stands, eliminated sides officially are Scotland and Uruguay. And then Croatia, if Croatia loses, they drop underneath South Korea. If Croatia wins, then South Korea are eliminated, and then everyone gets moved down a spot. But again, we'll go through that all tomorrow. Guys, thanks for being with us today. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy these 11 o'clock switching hours games. I'm going to bed. I, I am just straight up going to bed. That's
Yes,
the
go to
sign.
bed.
That's the sign off. I'll see you guys tomorrow.